is that mysterious humming in the background, you might ask? Up. There it is. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Excited for this one. I don't know why everyone's freaking out. 3 hours. We do 3-hour flights in every other airplane. They were like, oh, you're doing 3 hours in a Duke? That's unbelievable. You can fly a Duke for 3 hours. I don't know if I want to. We've got our Everett's Air Cargo Fueler DC-6s, and they have spare parts and fuel following us all the way to CYKA, Kablamo Airport, or Kamala Airport. I don't know what it is, CYKT or something. It's on the title of the video. You can check it out. We're going to be going there. 3 hours, 20 minutes, block time. Should be a little bit less than that. We're going to run as fast as we can, 75-80% power. We're going to be rocking the Duke all the way there. A couple things we can do in cruise. We can either do green dot, which I'm all about. We could do a little propeller, a lesson in constant speed propellers. We kind of went backwards. We taught turbochargers, then we taught turbine. We probably should have started with constant speed prop first. We could do constant speed prop, or we could just watch Duke, or we could just hang out. Who knows? The day is young. We've got 3 coffee beverages next to me. I have a water, a tea, and a coffee. Not necessarily going to drink them in that order, but hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Migs, thank you for the 7 Canadian. We flying VFRing, VORing. We're doing it all, man. We're doing it all, Migs. Thank you so much for the 7 Canadian. Appreciate you. I'm going to go over the route with you right now. We're making a slight amendment to the departure. We're going to cut about 40 miles off of the route. We're going to be making a left downwind departure through the fjords, VFR, until picking up the Lima Victor Delta VOR. So I'll show you that, what we're going to do there. But yeah, the ramp is full. I obviously parked on the wrong ramp. There's all kinds of stuff over here. We got another Duke. We got an MU2 over here. I'm not going to walk back to my airplane because it's a really long walk. I'm just going to shift C and glitch myself back. But I hope y'all are ready. Migs, good to see you. Diabetic Lad. Zach's in the house. Bill's Mafia. What's up? Good to see you, man. Tyson in the house. McAllen's here. Josh FSD. Dale Ferrier. Sandman. Al Black. Al W. What's going on, Al, man? Good to see you, dude. Hope you are doing well. And many more in chat. Thank you all. Welcome in. And let's get this show on the road, shall we? So instead of actually walking all the way back, I'll show you where I parked. Look, I must have spawned on the wrong ramp. We got so many dudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and me. That's 11. My airplane's... Oh, there's a couple of Learjets. I'm going to just shift C, or should we just walk it? Hell, let's just walk. We're this far. Anyway, nah, screw that. Shift C. That's a long run. Back to our airplane. Here she is, the beautiful the beautiful Grand Duke. Got a Lear 35. Looks like we converted the DEA to fly along with us in route as well. We're gonna have to. We got some tight restrictions with fuel. We've already spent over $4,000 in gas in the route that we've already flown. I had to almost top off the tanks. I'll show you the load right now. Let's go ahead and pull out the. Let's pull out the payload. So we're gonna have to go up to 110 or 105 on each side. So we're at 59 gallons a side. We just added another 110 gallons. So 55 a side we added pretty much. So that is 110 gallons we just bought. That puts us at 1264 on the fuel. We're 200 pounds, 235 pounds below max takeoff weight, so we're pretty heavy. We got a fully loaded airplane and we got high terrain, so we're going to take full advantage of the Duke. Let's not waste any time. I'm going to go heads down mode here for a minute. We're going to get fired up. Oh, we're also going to talk about the we're going to have to talk about the environmentals a little bit in cruise, because I was doing some reading because I was bored, and I was reading some more of the Duke manual, really getting a handle on all of the environmental stuff, and it's pretty much everything I expected. But there's a couple things that were actually not as I expected that are really cool, and it's really cool to see them simulated. We might get into that as well. We got a whole afternoon of flying ahead of us. We got Barry Seals in chat. Miggs is juiced. I'm juiced. Water's in the house. Good to see y'all. I'm excited. Let's go flying. So excuse me while I go heads down mode here. Real quick, let's go ahead and close the cabin door, or it's already closed, I believe. Yes, cabin door is closed, right? Yeah, cabin door is closed. So let's go ahead and pull the pitot covers, the engine covers. They've all been moved. We will get rid of the EFB. Let's close the nose door. Oh, we'll keep that open. We'll keep that open for start. I normally like to do a little walk around, but you can consider the post-flight, pre-flight walk-around has already been completed. I really hope we have nose wheel steering today. So let's go ahead and get this bird fired up, shall we? Let's start kind of with over-the-top flow. I'm going to kind of sweep through the cabin here. We're going to move the control stop. We are idle, forward, and cut off on the controls. I'm going to hide this yoke for now. Pressurization is off. That's in normal. And fuel selectors are on, so that's all good. With that done, outside air temp, I didn't think... it's only 0 C, so it's not crazy. So we didn't use any external heat. It might be a little bit spicy. It's about 0 degrees outside. So let's go ahead and get the airplane turned on. I'm gonna make sure the sounds are up, because what I love about this airplane too, there's so many things I love, but like when it's cold, it sounds different too. Like gyros take longer to spin up, your needles stick, all kinds of good stuff. Battery switch is on. Let's begin the pre-oiling. We'll go ahead and start the chrono on that. We'll do about 20 seconds on the pre-oiler because it's so cold. We'll go beacon and nav on. And we're going to stand by. We've got another 10 seconds. We'll do a magic barrel ref. Let's set our top altitude. Our initial altitude is going to be flight level 250. Scratch that. We're doing a VFR departure. Let's go ahead and set about 7,000 for right now, because we got to stay below the cloud deck here. We're going to go up the fjord. I'm gonna show y'all our route of flight here once we get an engine running. Pre-oil on the left. We'll reset that. I went a little bit far. We'll give it about another. We'll go to about 40 seconds. Happy Sunday afternoon, RP. Good to see you, my man. Vaughn, Dukeheads. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Dukeheads in chat. We are all Dukeheads here today. All right, pre-oilers are off. We'll reset the chrono. I'm going to hide the yoke. All right, let's go. Fuel boost pumps are coming on. And let's go ahead and prime. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. 4, 1,000. 5, 1,000. Should be enough. We'll idle it here. And let's go ahead and turn off the pumps. The Hobbs bug is fixed. We have 4 hours, 3.9. That's right where we love it. Bill's Mafia, I think what happened is on the last, like maybe the second leg, I'm pretty sure either my sim crashed on exit or I didn't shut the sim down properly. Maybe the replay screwed it up. And I would either say I forgot to shut it down properly or the replay screwed it up, because this is exactly where we left it. We had the same fuel load as where we left it. So everything is the way it should be. So I'm just going to be real careful with the replay. I'm just not going to replay the same aircraft. We'll have to end flight, get in the regular Duke, and then go from there. So, all right. Engines are primed. Beacon is on. Clear prop. I tell you what, for juice purposes, let's start number 1 first, all right? Let's go ahead and start number 1 here. We'll crack the throttle. Mixture's cracked. Let's go right, left, both. Hang on. Come on, baby. Yes. Run that engine up. 1,000 RPM. We'll go ahead and lean it back. Don't get foul plugs. Let's get generator on. And let's go right to a number 2 start. Right, left, both. Clear prop. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. 2 good engines. Mixture's coming back to lean. Generator 1, inverter. Avionics master, close the window. Now we can think. And I'm also going to just bring up the regular cam, because I kind of like just keep having one cam on the whole stream. You can get the camera set up here. You can see these. I try to get that red blast out away from the red blasting of the light on the throttle cam. All right, let's go ahead and do a panel sweep. Let's get our panel lights on for right now. I'm going to come across here. I'm going to set our auto ATC squawk code 4051. Oh, I also did some reading up on the EDM 760, so I'll be better at explaining it today. We're actually going to use the EDM 760 because we're going long range on this one. We need to really use the most precise instruments that we have for leading and engine management. Initial altitude, I'm going to go ahead and spin up to our initial cruise altitude is going to be 25,000. Even though we're going to level early, we're going to set 25 first here. Drew Smith dropping the 5 gifted memberships. Drew, my man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the support, Drew. If you pick a membership up from Drew Smith, make sure you shout him out and say thank you. All right, so right now I've got vent blower high. I'm going manual heat. We got to warm it up. It's 32 degrees in the cabin. We're going manual heat. The vents are push closed, so they're closed, and we can go direct hot air from the engines by bringing these out here, which is what we've been doing. So that's up. Let's get a CTAF and a radio check here. Y'all got a CTAF for Juno? I think someone's hot micing. Let's do CTAF, PAJN, no AIP. Can I get a 122.8 radio check?
Radio not checked.
Right here. Good to have you on board, Slustavo. We'll go pitch trim up. That's good. No flaps are required. We got quite some time to warm up the engines here. I'm going to go cowl flaps closed half. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000. All right, so with that done, it's time to set up our route of flight. Now, I had a crash messing with this, so you got to be very careful. If you try to go find route, is it CYKT? Is that where we're going? What's our destination? I always CYKA, CYKA, CYKA. All right, so that's our route. We're gonna just add waypoints. So I'm modifying it. We're going Lima Victor Delta. And then after Lima Victor Delta, we're going to Alpha November November, and that's a net island, and I'm gonna go over these on Sky Vector, but I just want to, because we're actually gonna follow some airways, but let's get Williams Lake in there as well. That way I can have frequencies. So I'll just come here, LVD frequencies 1165. That's what we're gonna be looking for, 116.5. All right, now let's go back. After LVD, let's take a look at Alpha November November frequency, which is 117.1. We'll put you standby 2 active. All right. After Alpha November November, it's Yankee Whiskey Lima. Let's take the frequency 13.6. Ooh, scheduling update for today. No thank you. 13.6 will be the standby for that one. 13.6. All right, beautiful. That's all done. I'm not going to use that cheaty map for our flight plan. I just wanted to use that for frequencies because these cylinder head temps are just now getting into the green arc. So we still got some time. We're looking good though. Our fuel is on board. Almost full tanks today. Almost full tanks. Let's take a quick look at the Sky Vector, and this will be consider this our departure briefing for today. And will it be saved from the last time I did it? It is. Beautiful. Okay, so instead of doing the Juno 6 obstacle departure out to Sisters Island, we're going to save a lot of time. We're going to make a left downwind departure. We're going to make this real tight in here. We're going to go tight left. We're going to follow the river. We're going to go up the Gastineer Channel, and we're going to fly all the way down Stevens Passage until we can pick up Levels Island, which is right here, which is 16.5, which we hard tuned already. So we're going to be looking for 16.5. Upon reaching 16.5, I'll look at the world low charts. We're going to pick up this airway here, which will be 128 outbound, and we're going to take this one all the way down to a net island, and then we cross over. We're IFR. We're going to have to use our KNS 80 for one leg here. We'll use KNS 80 to go to this waypoint. It's a checkpoint. I just put an airport there. From there, or we can go direct. If we're picking up the signal, we're going to go to Houston, which is 14.7 perhaps. I don't have that one in there. We'll have to figure those 2 waypoints out. Or the last one I have, which is right here, Williams Lake 13.6, which we did put in our box. So I don't think we're going to get Williams Lake. So I added 2 more waypoints here with that we can do with the KNS 80 when we're en route to give us some guidance off of Alpha November November. But our general briefing is we're not going all the way out here. We're going to make a tight left turn, Stevens Passage, pick up the VOR. We do have to be careful. There is some terrain here, the highest of 44. This is a sector altitude, 4,400 feet here. We should be above that and hopefully below the cloud deck. I'm going to plan for about 7,000 initially out of here. If all goes to hell and we got to just get away from terrain, we'll climb up and try to pick up the VOR. We can track a heading, essentially. I'm sure we'll be able to pick up something. So that's our departure brief. We'll go ahead and get rid of Sky Vector. Engines are nice and warm.
7254 Delta Kilo, holding short, runway 08.
Everybody using 08 today?
Yeah.
All right, everyone's using 08. Taxi light is on. Let's go ahead and make our way to runway 08. Juno traffic, November 357 Bravo Sierra. Taxi at runway 8, run-up area, Juno. All right, brakes are released. Taxi light is on. We have nose wheel steering. Beautiful. We're going to go to runway 8. All right, heads down briefing is completed. Welcome back, chat. Glad to have you on board. Hey, AJ, what's going on, man? Convoy is up to 20 total aircraft. Beautiful. I can't believe we've got 20 aircraft going to freaking in the middle of nowhere, Canada here. Looks like we'll join the conga line. Bunch of aircraft down there. Can't catch this live, but I'm all in on the replay. John, well, welcome on board, man. We look forward to seeing you on the replay. I'm going to go ahead and take Alpha. I'm going to cut everybody off. Or they might be waiting for me. What we'll do is if you guys want to do a tandem departure, I'll line up and pull forward. If you guys want to do a tandem departure, if I line up, I'll pull way forward and you guys can get on the runway with me if you want to. Look at that! Look at those DC-6s. This is so cool. Biggs, thank you for a 7 Canadian super chat. Flying down all these passengers is going to be amazy and glazy. Real life represent. Oh, I need to get the real life emojis. I haven't had time. I literally today was super busy. I went and sold my 4080 this morning, and then went to church. Then went to lunch. Took 2 hours at lunch because after an hour they realized the kitchen deleted our ticket. Loud and clear. And if you've ever been to lunch with 3 small children and had to wait for an hour, you can understand the stress environment that can induce. So that was spicy. So then I just ran to the office right after that, booted up, and here we are. Is the Lear 35 model matching? Apollo, you know what? Was that? I wasn't a 35. I think that was a Lear. Was that a 45 model matching back then? I think that might have been a 45. Might have been a Lear 45 I was looking at. Why'd you sell a 4080 ribbon? I sold a 4080 for my AMD card here because I needed the VRAM.
Radio check.
Loud and clear. Look at all these Dukes here. Look at all that. We got a Turbine Duke. We got a Grand Duke. Duke City, baby. Duke City. I'm going to kind of slide off to the right here in case someone wants to go early. But what I'll do is I'll make a radio call when I'm ready, and I'll just line up and pull way forward. It's getting really hot in here. We got to take your layers off. Let's go ahead and close the pressurization air. We're not run up into the wind, but it's 0 degrees outside, so I'm not too concerned about it. All right. Let's go ahead and let's take you off of RNAV. Let's keep you on VLOC. That looks good. Runway 8, I'm going to spin my HSI to approximately 080. We'll spin the heading bug that way as well, because I guess we won't be doing a left down one. We're going to be departing straight out over the water then. So 08 is set. 08 is set. How are engines? Everything is in the green. Let's go ahead and commence a run-up. Let's go ahead and spin them up. Let's go mixtures rich. Spin them 1800. 15, 16, 17, 1800 RPM. Close enough. Let's go ahead and run mag check left. Back to both.
No traffic.
Right. Back to both. Mags work on both. Cycle the props. Here we go. Number 2. Number 1. I'll go auto heat on that. Let's do one more on the left. I just saw it's 90 degrees in here. I bet it feels good though. All right, we are set. 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and load up the window heat. Checks. Left, right, fuel pump. Amps, pitot heats. Amped. Prop heats. Amp. Checked. We'll kill those. Surface de-ice. Let's go ahead and do one cycle. De-ice pressure in the green. Ribs have inflated. There's our de-icing pressure going all the way up. Cabin pressurization is set. We are in normal. Electric trim is on. Bring back the props, 1,000 RPM. We're ready to go. Juno traffic, November 357 Bravo Sierra, going to line up and wait on runway 08, Juno. All right, here we go. Brakes released. Let's light it all up. Let's go fly. No need for any anti-ice or any anti-heats or any good stuff here. Wingnuts in the house. What's going on, man? Hope the kid feels better soon. It's crazy, man. My little girl, she just got over something too. She's sick for like 4 or 5 days, man. It was wild fever. Tell me this isn't way more fun than flying an Airbus or 737. Hey, dude, it is. This is way more fun. I can't believe we have this many people here. You are all savages. This is like a 3-hour flight. And Juno traffic. 7 Bravo here. I'm going to line up and wait. I'll pull forward. If anybody wants to take off with me, you feel free to line up. If not, I'll just go ahead and blast off here in about a minute. So I'm going to pull up forward on 8. Now, the DC-6s are probably going to be faster than us. I don't know, how fast is the DC-6? Connect your yoke. Did we already lose one? I got the yoke connected, Vodka, because I can feel the vibrations. Let me get the... we'll go ahead and stop here. All right. Let's see if anybody is...
November 859, Charlie Mike, lining up runway 8.
All right, so he's going to line up with us. We'll wait here for about 1 minute, see if anybody wants to join. If you want to fly solo, go for it. Let's take a quick look at the departure. Now that we're on runway 8, though, let me look at Sky Vector real quick. Because runway 8 might make this a little bit different for my... Okay, so it's going to be a slight right turn here if you look at it now. So we're blasting off 8. So we're really just following the water. Gastineau Channel up to Stevens Boulevard. Looks good to me. All right, one last check. Everything is set. Flaps are up. We no need. I think we're ready. Fuel is good. Engine instruments are in the green. And we got about half cow flaps. They seem happy there, so let's do it. Juno traffic, November 357 Bravo Sierra, departing runway 8, straight out up the channel, Juno. Oh, wow, it looks like there's still some more people lining up. I'll wait for you guys. I'll wait for you guys if you want to join. I think that's Gus in the MU right there. Look at this. I gotta get a screenshot. Hold on.
Yeah, traffic, C54.
Screenshot.
We're clearing to the east, cloud tops at 5,000.
All right, get ready to get berries in chat. Apollo, ask me when we get to cruise, man. We'll go over the props. We're gonna go do a full-blown prop lesson when we get up to cruise. All right, screenshots in chat. I guess Gus is gonna, yeah, he'll be good there from an angle. He'll figure it out. All right, screenshots in chat. No, not screenshots. Berries in chat. Let's go. Drew Smith, my man, thank you for the 3 months support. Honeycomb Bravo, can't wait to start flying the Duke. It's going to be a whole new ball game, man. Whole new ball game. Elephant walk it is. All right, berries in chat. If you send a message in the midst of a sea of berries, it'll never be seen. We're squawking altitude 4051. Here we go. Spin them up. Turbos are spooled. Prop up to the governor. Set power. Airspeed's live.
November 859 Charlie Mike, taking off runway 8, Juno traffic.
V1, rotate. Ooh, I hit a bump in the runway there on my yoke. Positive rate. Gear up, fly with, baby. Oh, look at that. Another screenshot. Oh, that's too good. There's the water we're going to follow. Pitching for 120. Pitching for 120. I'm just going to guide myself with the heading bug here. There's 1,000 feet. Lower the nose. Coming back to 39. Props coming down. All right, just using my heading bug here as a reference. 140 on the tree, on the speed. No flaps on this one, so don't forget those. Going right up the valley. Oh, look at that. this is awesome. So we're going to plan to level. I'll tell you what. Let's just keep it low. Let's keep it 5,000. I think 7 might put us in that layer. A little bit more trim in there. You know, a little bit fast. 140 is about right. Cabin is moving. That looks good. Is it too loud for y'all? That's pretty loud for me. I'm going to knock it down 40. Should be bearable. We'll go to a cruise audio here in a little while. 5,000 might be too high. I'll tell you what, let's make it 4. Let's make it 4. Juno traffic, November 357 Bravo Sierra, off runway 8. We're going to level 4,000 going down Stevens Passage for a little while here, Juno traffic. We'll level at 4,000. No need to be ripping away from anybody, so let's come right back to about 35, 34 inches. To save some fuel here. We don't want to be. We don't have a whole lot of extra either. So we'll level off at 4,000.
We're going to leave the fjord here through the third waypoint, Glazer.
Copy that. We'll go over Glazer waypoint. And just as a pilot report, Juno traffic, we are picking up some light rime ice out of 3,500. All right, there's 4,000. I overshot it there. We are getting some window ice. I got the window heats on. We'll come back a little bit. I don't want to be ripping too much. Let's bring the mixtures back a hair. Let's make it 4,500 since I guess technically we're VFR right now, right? 4,500 feet is good. Through the Ford. Got somebody around. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, look at that. That's like a little boat area. I might just have to level up. Let's trim it out here, and then we'll. I was gonna turn the autopilot on. This is too much juice. Kind of like hand flying.
Juno traffic, November
Let's come back 30 inches.
Kilo, overhead Glazer, last call.
Where's Glazer at? He took off just before us, so let me look at the chart. Migs, thank you so much for the 13 Canadian. We're just 4 legs in, and somehow this journey keeps getting more and more juice by the minute. Shout out to all the folks in the conga line. Awesome seeing so many people show up. Migs, I totally agree. Shout out to everybody that's joined the conga line. I was not expecting that. I honestly was thinking we were going to have like maybe 1 or 2 people. I knew Zippy's hardcore, DC6 and Steven, those DC6 guys. But I was not expecting a 20 conga line of props on a long haul. Look at that. Now everyone's forming in. Nice. All right, so what I'll do, since technically I guess I would be considered a flight lead here, let's go ahead and get the autopilot on so we're nice and stable. We're altitude hold, heading mode. Whoa. Sorry guys. That's not what you want to do. Okay, I think it was in the down position. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's retrim. Set my pitch trim up. Why is it like... Uh-oh. Until we have an autopilot issue. Maybe it's because we're so close to 4,500. What if I make you 46? I just want to get that trim wheel settled in. Why is the VOR needle bouncing? Because we're picking up signal. I'm going to go ahead and set a direct 2. We might have to take it up a little bit. Yeah, see, we're not quite... Ooh, we're getting signal now. There it is. Not quite. You see how it's... We're kind of... we're not quite have the signal. We'll stay 4,600 feet here for a little while. I think I might have juked all my wingmen out. Yeah, there we go. That's on me. That's my bad. Why didn't you turn on the flight director? You don't need a flight director, man. It's just for your own visual. It's not like the airplane's following. You're not driving the flight director. So, I just don't typically use it. And that stems from... Let me rephrase what I said there, Pascal. If I flew Dukes and GA still in real life, that's all I was flying, I'd probably have it on. But I'm hardwired to, if the flight director's on, I'm following the flight director because I'm an Airbus guy. And I don't want to be following the flight director right now. I just want to be flying pitch and power. So I don't want to be creating bad habits by having the flight director on and not updating it and yada yada. So that's why I don't have it on. But it does work fully. You can set it up right here. It would have been helpful for knowing that it was the pitch trim was driving me nose down. I believe this is Glazer. I think we're going to punch through. We're going to have to climb up here, yeah. So
traffic over 195, we're an average right. Left line on your arm. You know. Yeah, definitely.
Alright, we're through the fjord. Let's go ahead and set initial climb 250. Oh, I have it in hundreds. There we go. Makes it a lot easier to do it that way. 25,000 feet is set. I'm going to go ahead and turn the autopilot off. I'm going to go ahead and put you in attitude. There we go. Reset the pitch wheel. I'm going to trim out and we're going to power up. So pictures are fine. Props are fine. Let's go ahead and run up climb power and begin setting the pitch attitude for 140 knots. We'll go right about 39 inches. Once we get higher too, we'll have a better reception on this VOR. I'm going to keep the window heats on. And I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to punch through a layer, so let's go all heats on for now. Protect ourselves. All heats are on. How's our cabin? 74 degrees in here. It's beautiful. Flew the previous leg last night running 5x fares, so the autopilot failed 10 minutes of hand flying. I was like, I ain't got time for this. Mid-air ensued repair. Nice, nice, Romulus. See, that's why I'm glad y'all voted for the 2X. It's a little bit more realistic. I mean, because here's the deal. If you were doing this flight in real life, right, you were ferrying a Duke, you're hoping that you don't have a single issue. And it's completely feasible to do this journey and not have any significant failures happen, right? That's just the nature of flying. But I would wager to say you'd probably have at least I'd say you might have one medium thing and like two small things probably happen. All right, so instrument flying, we're just going to hold a heading here as we're IMC. 1,000 foot in the climb. Go a little bit faster, get a little bit more trim in there. See if we can punch through this layer. I'm not going to chase that VOR needle. Once we get up higher here, we should have better reception.
Average 750, passing 5,000 feet, direct level line, must hold traffic.
Keeping an eye for any ice accumulation. If we start seeing ice, we'll have to blow a boot. Just a little bit fast there. A little bit more trim in here. It's getting brighter. We'll go ahead and turn the panel lights off as we climb out through the top here. Save some electrical load. There's our 140 on the speed. How's our power? Manifold is good, 39. Props are good, mixture's good. Cylinder temps are in the green. Darth Russ, welcome to Commercial Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board, my friend. Thrust set, I sold it for $1,400. 1,400 cash. And I would have taken 1,200 or even 1,100. I felt kind of bad. But I don't know. I looked on Facebook Marketplace and there were other 4080s used for $1,300, $1,400. I figure I'll list it at $1,400. If the guy wants to offer 12, I'll take it. He didn't even offer. He just straight up went 1,400. So it's like, all right. Nope, no auto FPS, man. Oh, there we go. We're breaking out now. As we get ready to go through 10,000 feet. That's a bug on the binding there, that fuel drop. My lights are coming off as we go through 10,000 feet. These are, should be strobe nav, these are our landing lights, so I'm trying to save the bulbs. There's 10,000. We're trimmed out pretty good. I'll go ahead and engage the autopilot now. So let's go on. Heading attitude mode is selected. Just maintain this heading. That looks beautiful. This guy's doing a good job formation flying. There's one right there, right below us. Virtual Flight Diaries. My man, thank you for the $10 super chat. VFD, appreciate you, sir. Says, wish I could be flying in the conga line, but couldn't make it. Definitely going to watch along, though. Barry streams are the best. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, man. I'm excited. There's so many things we can do. Like, we can watch Green Dot. We can watch, I think we should do a propeller lesson. Oh, we definitely have to do the EDM lesson. We're going to do an EDM lesson here once we get up a little bit higher. We can kind of do a cruise EDM check right now. So basically how to read this gauge, I'll just tell you this right now. So, you have your cylinders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Fahrenheit or Celsius, and these solid lines, these are your EGTs, right? So it's basically a digital readout of this right here. Now, the black line right here, this is the cylinder head temps. So the cylinder head temps are a little bit lower. So right now my hottest cylinder is going to be number 6. I think, was right about 400. And if I look up here to my cylinder head gauges, we're looking good. Now, these are in Celsius, so you gotta be careful with the conversion. But let's lower that pitch down a little bit, getting a little bit slow. For good measure, let's go ahead and cycle the boot one time. We'll do a boot cycle. You can see ribs are inflated. I don't see any ice out there, but just for good measure. So this is actually telling us two different gauges, EGT and cylinder head temp. And it's also going to help us be extra precise with our lean. We're going to lean for peak, just under peak, or rich of peak. All right, I'm getting a pretty solid signal now. Let's go ahead and engage nav track. We're going to track to nav 1, which is 88 miles out. Where are you going there, autopilot? Sorry, dude. Move behind us. I don't know what that was all about. We are VLOC. Let's try to capture it back. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But again, Virtual Flight Diaries, thanks a lot, man. Wish I could have been flying the conga line. Next time. Let's go ahead and lean just a hair. I think it was setting up for a, let's lower that pitch trim reference a tad. Maybe there's a little bit of a crosswind there, I can't quite tell. Double check our pressurization, cabin climbing, 71 degrees. Warm you up a tad. Wow. That looks nice. Dan Coleman, upgraded commercial pilot. Dan, glad to have you on board, man. I appreciate the support up to commercial pilot. You'll have access to the, make sure you check the commercial pilot section of the Discord. I have a pin channel in there for all the commercial pilot content. See some extra juice. Do they teach navigating with clock and compass in flight school? I don't know if they do anymore. I'm not sure. I'm sure they do, to an extent, maybe. I don't know. There is a click spot for Celsius, you're right. It's right here. It's in the middle, right? Yeah, right here. So now I'm Celsius. So this will match. What's my, but that's in Fahrenheit. So I actually want to keep it in Fahrenheit. So Fahrenheit, this is the hidden click spot for Celsius. Does 2024 have DLSS 4 yet? That I do not know, my friend. Seems like the autopilot has a better idea where the VR radio is compared to the heading indicator. Yeah, it's tracking it now. It's tracking it pretty good now. I think down there when the signal was a little iffy, it was hunting. It might have been setting up a little bit of an intercept too, which we'll take a look at here if we have any type of cross-track error. Zach says it does not have DLSS 4 yet. Okay. Rastik, thank you for the $5 super chat. Finally back in the States. Can watch at normal time instead of middle of the night, but I don't have my PC, so I can't join or even SimFly for 2 months. Oof. Well, Rastik, we're glad to have you back live, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We picked a hell of a stream to join in on. I think we're going to have a lot of fun on this one, my friend. Welcome on board, Rastik. Dan Coleman says, a long-time viewer, but never really catch the live streams. If you ever come to Charleston, let me know. Dan, Wilco, man. Appreciate the support, Dan. Digital Work says you can enable it with DLSS Swapper and NVIDIA app. Ooh, but NVIDIA is dead to me. All right, there's 18,000 feet. Let's go ahead and set 2992 set. Was it synced? This is the older altimeter right here. Yep, 2992 set. That looks good. How's our temps as we climb up? As we climb up, it's going to have a harder time in auto heat. We might have to go full on hot again here. We'll see. Let's just go manual hot.
Charlie, Mike, you
66. If we can't keep it with manual heat, we might have to pull our pressurization heaters out.
Yeah, this is 5-8.
This is going to be a hell of a landing sequence. Hopefully we can get there before the sun sets. Mr. Water, dropping the 10 gifted memberships. Or should I call you Jerry? Thank you, Water, for the 10 gifted memberships, man. Too kind. I appreciate the support and all the help, Water. Thank you for dropping the 10 gifted subs here. Team Green, one of us indeed. Thank you, Water. Vancouver Center's online. Sweet. Well, we'll have to, we'll double check our situation. I didn't file LVD, but it's part of our original flight plan, so it's going to work out. After LVD, we need to track the 128, which is going to be the airway. So what I should do, honestly, is I should put 128 in here. Let's see what we can do. Let's go 16.5 here, so I don't forget. Not really good to have two of the same radial because it's kind of a waste of nav2, but we'll set 128 here to remind if we pass over the VOR, that's the one we need to intercept, track outbound for the airway. But we're 16.5 on each. We're looking good. Can we tune ID number 1? I think I hear it. No. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. I'm pretty sure I hear it beeping. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I hear it beeping. I know Thrustset asked about that. I think I hear something fainting. Faint beeping in there. All right, we're at a 21.5. Keep an eye on our mixtures here. We'll pack just a hair. Power, make sure we go all the way up. There we go. We still haven't reached supercharger critical altitude. You can see I was able to add more manifold in there, give us some more juice. So now I've got my throttles all the way up. We're max manifold, and that's all we got. We're going to try to make it up to 25. We should be okay. It's going to be pretty heavy for 25, but we should be okay according to the charts. Let's double check the cabin pressurization. We did set 25. 10,000 foot cabin altitude is what we're looking for. That's where we're at, and now the differential pressure gauge is moving. So everything is looking good there. It's getting colder in here, so we're going to have to crack the pressurization air heats. Bring those on. That's going to really warm it up quickly. So I'm going to go manual and pressurization air hot on. That should keep our cabin temp nice and toasty. I always use a pressurization. Is that a bad thing? No, Zach, it's not. And I'm glad you have. This is, before we do a green dot or anything like that, we're going to have two conversations. We're going to have pressurization and pneumatic first, because that's the Duke. And then we're going to do a constant speed prop. We'll kind of do a basic constant speed prop discussion. I know somebody asked, I think it was Paulo asked about the why do we cycle the prop and stuff on the ground. And instead of me just answering that question, if you understand how the prop works, it will make way more sense first, instead of me just telling you why we cycle the prop to get lubrication in the hub. Johan upgraded to commercial pilot as well. Johan, thank you. Very kind of you, sir. Welcome to the commercial pilot side of things. I do have a special seat for my commercial pilots back here. All the commercial pilot members will be riding first class with you get a free V1 carpet and get your own little tray table. Now, I was thinking for green dot, I should have got like a laptop background for a TV screen. Laptop background. But we're not there yet. We got 1,000 feet to level off, so let's make sure we don't do something bad. Let's get things leveled off here. That cabin climb display is kind of fogged up. No, you know what that is? So you got to remember, this is not officially supported in 2024 yet. So you can see some of the gauges, depending on where I move the camera, the reflections are a little off. They look too aggressive. That's a 2024 thing. That's because these haven't been optimized for 2024. Again, this airplane is not officially supported yet in 2024. That's what that is. You see that glass issue. Kind of have to move around. It's a part of the reflection mapping and stuff. It does not do that in 2020. Bill's Mafia upgraded to commercial pilot. My man Bill's. Man, thank you for the support, dude. Welcome to the commercial side of things. Now I'll buy your 757 with love. Al says Daytona crash lap 9. Uh-oh. Al, let me know when we're down to the last 3 laps. And I'll tune in. All right, I'm going to put A&R on. I'm going to put you guys at 20. You let me know if it's too quiet or not quiet enough at that level. That's going to be our noise reduction. We're leveling here at 25. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to lean this puppy up for a rich of peak. So now that we are set, manifold is set, let's bring our props to where we want them here. So let's go back 2650 or 26. Try to sync them up. 2600 on the props. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go over this real quick. So normally we lean right here at TIT. Pretty easy to do. Wow, look at our cylinder head temps are cooking. We need to open those up a little bit more here. I was pushing those cylinder heads up to 25. That's another thing that'll happen. So if you start running your heaters and pulling that pressurization air, you can over temp your cylinders. I'm running them pretty hot. That is spicy. That is pretty spicy. Hopefully they'll cool off here. I didn't check that. We were getting real close to the red line. Let's also set power here. Let's come back to, what are we going to do? 31. So 31 inches. We're 31.26. And now we're going to lean. So I've been leaning for the TIT. It's a rental. No, this is the one we own. We own this one. So instead of watching the TIT gauges, we're going to watch the EDM 760. Now you can also watch the fuel flow as I do this. You're going to watch a decrease in fuel flow. You're going to watch a rise in ITT, and you're going to see the EGT rise here. Once this device recognizes the peak, it will flash at us, and then it will give us a digital value of which we can set really precise mixture ratio for the optimum performance. So we are going to aim for 50 rich of the peak. Now, you guys can go ahead and fight amongst yourself if you like to fly lean of peak, right out lean, or right at peak, or rich of peak. I'm going to fly rich of peak. Argue amongst yourselves, and if you're watching this on replay, let me know why you do what you do, because I always find it interesting. Everyone has a different opinion. So, so I'm going to go ahead and click lean 5. So let's go ahead and bring it back. Now you got to be very careful. You're doing this slowly here. So we're going to run them back. Look at my EGTs on my EDM. See, they're going up. They're going up. They're going up. Nice and slow. Peaked. Boom. We've peaked. All right. Now, right now, I am 42, 43 lean of peak. I'm pretty hot right now. So if you're in a rental car mode, knock yourself out. I own this airplane, so I'm going to enrich it. You're going to see these numbers go down, and then eventually we're going to get negative values. And that's what we're looking for. We want to be negative 50, which would be on the cool side of peak with a rich mixture. A little bit too much. You could see you got to be real slow here. I'm going to make it nice and precise. So 63, 62. So we're 58, 59. Cracking them. There we go. 52, 53. Let it stabilize. Winglet says 50 lean of peak is less stress on the cylinders and cooler temps. 50 rich of peak is max stress on the cylinders. Really? Fake news. I'm going rich of peak, man. That's what I've always done. Just don't let me fly your T6, I guess. See if I can't get it right at 50 there, now that they've stabilized. Even when I flew these in real life, it was SOP to be 50 rich of, or 1525, or just depended on the altitude and what we were doing on that particular route. We had a couple of ways we set mixture. We could either set them for fuel flow depending on the circumstances of the flight, or we set for a standard temp, or 50 rich of. All right, 51 and 50. So we are set. We are 70, and that's right there about 75% of power, so that's good. Let's go ahead and make sure we're not crashing in anything. Nope, everything looks good. Okay, come back here. We're not quite done yet. So now to get it back to the normal mode, I'm going to go back step and then here. So now it's going to start doing its normal cycle. If you ever just want to step it manually, you get miles per gallon, which I didn't set up, which I should have. Here's our horsepower per engine right now at this altitude. So we're getting 269, 271. All right, those are horsepower. EGT, well, right side is 1554 and 1461, so a little bit of a discrepancies there. Cylinder head temps 395, 375. EGTs 1446, and this is the hottest. This is the hottest one, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the hottest one is going to be 1538. Now, yeah, the total. But you could see here, this is really cool. So this is the cylinder head temp of each one. I think number 6 is the hottest on that side. Number 5 is the hottest on this side. All right, we can step through that one. Average ETT cylinder head temps in digital. And now if you wanted to just go back to normal stepping, you click here and click here. And now it's going to go ahead and cycle through the process so you can monitor it. But we are considered set, and if you were hardcore, if you're flying in real life, you can kind of tighten that friction down there so your mixtures wouldn't move. Or if you accidentally bumped them, you don't want to choke yourself out and have an engine out. So pressurization looks good. Everything looks good. How's our cabin temp? 61. We need more pressurization air. Warm it up in here. Last thing we're going to do before we get into more discussions is set our tasks. And I'm going to check my phone. Oh my gosh, are they seriously calling me for a 200%er? It's such an easy turn, and I'm freaking streaming, dudes. I can't believe it. Hold on, stand by. I gotta check what they're calling for. It's an easy Atlanta turn, I know it. I just didn't think they were gonna call me, so I streamed. Oh. That hurts. No, I can't. I wouldn't be able to make it in time. I'd have to report in, it's 18:12 report. It's 4:16. Yeah, I couldn't get there in 2 hours. I couldn't get there in 2 hours. And it's actually not what I thought. It's a 2-day. Gross. Ooh, with the, yeah, I don't really like that one. Okay, it's not as a good trip as I thought it was. Abandon us. Nah, no, I'm not abandoning. Not for that. 3 a.m. arrival? Gross. No, ain't nobody got time for that. I've got Flight Duke. Piss off. All right. Let's go ahead and set our task here. I just can't believe that. That's the luck of the draw. Minus 40 exactly. That makes things easy for us right here. So we are minus 40, and we'll set our cruise altitude. 3 a.m. arrival. I'll get out of here with that now. I just sold my 4080. I don't need it. I just sold my 4080. I'll take the I'll take my win there. No need to be greedy. No need to be greedy. All right, 25,000 feet. We're going to put you at the minus 40 line right there. What is that? 270 tasks. Right on the money. All right. Let me check our manuals. So at 25,000 feet, we could be up to 34 inches if we wanted to. 2750, 262 tasks if we wanted to. We're doing 268. So we're doing a little bit better than planned. Average fuel flow, 133 per side. We're running a little bit more. We're running 150, I think. We're running a little bit more on the gas. Why is that? 25,000. Oh, because we're rich. That's what it is. And that was for peak. So we're running a little bit rich. All right. Cross-reference with our paper charts. We're looking good. We lost everybody that we were flying with. That's all right. Where are we on the VOR? We are 20 miles out. I don't know where the DC-6 are. Let's pull up the map. I know Wingnut loves this. Let's just see the conga line. Oh my gosh. I think we lost a lot of people. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this is only the 2024 users, though. This is only 2024 users. All right. We're in cruise. Now we can go back to the chat. You guys were, I had to go back here. You guys were debating about 50 lean, 50 rich. I actually thought it was always my understanding, Wingnut, that rich at peak was the safest and not necessarily safest, but yeah, less stress. The setting that was the least amount of stress on the engine. Victor Silva, I'm not sure which model matching those DC-6s were. I could have had DC-6 because I have the DC-6. So maybe that was like the model that was shown. I'm not sure. I think I use FSLTL though. Yeah, I used to use AIG. I use FSLTL. Say again?
You up on Unicom 57 Bravo Sierra?
A firm.
I think that's me on your right side.
Oh, there you are. Ah, there you are. I got you in sight. Nice. Nice. There's one of our fellow Dukers. No.
Pulling about 274 on the ground speed.
Nice. Nice. Are you in a Grand Duke or are you in a turbine?
Grand Duke.
All right, cool. So we're showing, I'm doing about 239 right now according to my little DME thing.
Nice. Yeah, I'm all trimmed out.
Yeah, so he's all trimmed out, said he's a little bit faster. He might be running, so we could run 34. I actually have it pulled back just a hair for fuel.
First group flight. This is kind of fun.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Glad to have you on board. we're all running a little less than the max 75%. We could go 34, but I'm going to save that. I'm waiting just a little bit because we're going to climb up to 27 once we hit ANN, and then we'll go to 270, and then we'll go full 75% power. Boomers don't like Lena Peak because engines couldn't run it back in the day before balanced fuel injection. Really? Is that true, Wingnut? The only reason modern cars don't run Lena Peak is because catalytic converters can't run on lambda greater than 1. My carbureted 0360 does not like Lena Peak. Interesting. Down at Ray, you're right. Gotta grab a finger, grab a handful. Force Raptor says I'm directly behind you in 2020. I think it shows me. Let me see. Same altitude. I don't see anybody yet. Oh, I just got a weather change. That was a new weather update. That was nice. All right. Before we can get into any further discussions, we're 6 miles from the VOR. I'm going to select heading mode. And I'm going to move you to 1. I'll keep you there, but we're going to go 128 after we pass over, right? So DME, there's going to be a slant range air on this. I don't think it's going to go all the way down to 0. Once we get to 2 from flip, we got to join the 128. Coffee on pants, yep. Flight Sim guy just got the same weather change. Hopefully you weren't running red line. Man, look at that down there, though. I love seeing reflection off the water through clouds. Like, it's a small thing to look at or that you think would be cool, but just from all the sims that I've flown, going all the way back to the early 2000s, like, to have the sun reflect off the water in the proper area through clouds, you know, so it's not just like going through all of the clouds and reflecting in your face. It's only reflecting off the water where it's getting through the clouds. It's just such a, it's a small thing, but man, I love that. I just love that. It looks good. JP, dare I say, it looks like real life, chat. In the bill, what's up, dude? JP gifted the 5 memberships. Appreciate you. Dropping the 5 gifted subs. Y'all pick a membership from JP. Shout him out. Say thank you, man. Too kind. I appreciate all the new members today so far. You guys are awesome. 21 new members out of the gate on a Barry Seal stream, which are the best streams. I said it, Migs. I said it. I'm running Rich of Peak. Thank goodness. Yeah, I've always run Rich. I don't know. I mean, maybe if I was renting one, I would try Lean at Peak. I don't know. I was always told that Lean was like, because think about it. If you're hotter, then I don't know. If you're hotter than not, it's gonna be more stress. All right, we just passed over. Let's select course 128. I kind of blew through it there. Let's go ahead and join the 128. I left my cowl flaps down. That's all right. We're going to climb up to 27,000 feet for our final. Actually, what's the wind say? Is the wind higher up? Should we go higher or stay at 25? Alexandra Bellini. Oh my goodness. Alexandra Bellini just dropped a 20 bomb of memberships in the chat. Alexandra Bellini, thank you so much for the membership gifts. I had to pause my OBS there because things were getting out of whack with the massive drop. Very kind of you. Thank you so much for the support. Very, very kind. Very generous. Thank you. Happy Sunday to you, Alexandra Bellini. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon, evening, morning. Maybe it's Monday for you. Thank you nevertheless. All right, we're going to join the airway. Let's select nav. We'll select nav 128. While that's loading up, now let's go ahead and look at our sky vector and plan our route of flight here for the next turn. So we just hit Levels Island. So now I'm going to go world low. We're going to be flying 128 until reaching a net, which is 17.1. So I'll put 17.1 back on primary nav 2. And once we hit a net, we're gonna have to then go. What did I actually file? Let me check my flight plan. I don't remember if I filed those 2 waypoints or not. Let's see. LVD to a net, and then YYD. So I filed pretty much direct YYD. Are we going to be able to make that? I think we can. So let's go ahead and get rid of CYXT. It's only 175 between the two. So I think we'll be okay. This is what we officially filed. So, and since there's this Vancouver's on, I want to be on the proper what we filed. So once we do hit a net, it's going to be the 079 outbound to Smithers, which is going to be 14.7. So I'll put 14.7 in the standby, and we'll put 17.1 up here. And I don't think we're going to need to use the KNS-80 on that one, perhaps. We'll get rid of that. Migs dropped the 5 gifted memberships. Migs, thank you so much, Migs, for the 5 gifted memberships as well. Thank you for all the support, man. I know you've been around a long time supporter of the channel. Always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. We'll go close these cow flaps up too. Hit that like button for Barry. Indeed, let's see if we can get. I know it's a hard ass, chat, as I'm closing these cow flaps. It's a hard ass to get as many likes as we get on tube liner streams on a prop stream. But I'm really gonna beg for it on this one. Can we get as many likes as possible on this Piston Duke stream? We're not even going to set a goal. We're just going to set a goal for the, well, I guess we'll set a goal for the end of the stream. More likes than viewers. So come in here, smash the like button. Appreciate you. Thank you, Migs. Wingnut says, nope, everybody stand by. Wingnut has spoken. Thank you for the $10 super chat. This must be big. He's posting from his Wingnut account, not his full Flap Sim account, so he's flexing on us. Thanks for the $10 super chat, Wingnut. Before engine monitors, guys would fly lean of peak and have some cylinders lean of peak, while others were actually at peak to 50 rich of peak, which damaged those cylinders, and lean of peak got a bad rap. I'm gonna have to read that 5 times to understand what that was. Let me read that again. Before engine monitors, guys would fly lean of peak and have some cylinders lean of peak, while others were actually at peak to 50 rich, which damaged those cylinders and lean of peak out of it. So you're saying they were trying to fly lean of peak, but the ones that were rich of peak actually got damaged. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I'm going to run lean of peak. Or rich of peak. When you I tell you what, Wingnut, how about this? You get in the Duke, you join us on one of these streams, I'll have you on Discord voice, and you can explain the how we're supposed to be doing it with the lean of peak. You can defend yourself. This debate has been going on since the advent of I don't know, leaning engines anyway. People have always debated, is it lean, rich, or right at peak? You can find arguments on both sides. So I am genuinely being sincere when I say, let me know what your side of the argument is, because I actually like knowing all the information, right? I'll come up with my own conclusion. So I also thought, Migs brought up a good point. How about running it just at peak? Why don't we run it just at peak? Because that's the most amount of heat, maybe? I don't know. I would think lean would be cleaner. Wingnut says correct, because cylinders older and carbureted engines, or especially radials, never peaked at the same time. Now that makes sense. Okay, because the older radials, they would not peak at the same time. I get you. Al W, my man. Al, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships as well, my man. Appreciate the support. Hope we're doing well representing the Tejas here. I was supposed to be fishing today, man, but I saw that it was the open tournament. It wasn't on our points thing, so I said, screw it. I'm not getting up, go dip the ice off my rod, man. Too cold to be fishing Arlington today. But I appreciate the support, Al. Hope you're having a good weekend, my friend. All right, prop lesson. Is it time for a prop lesson? Highball says I was taught peak ran too hot. That would make, I guess I could say that. Yeah, and Lena says peak is the hottest, but it's the most efficient. So, well, that would make sense because it is the peak temperature, right? All right. Looks like we're already picking up the number 2 nav, 66 miles away. So I'm going to just keep it 1282 like that. So I'm going to wait till we're halfway between. So before we get into our prop lesson here, which is going to be constant speed prop, not lean to peak, rich to peak. A good rule of thumb when you're flying VOR nav like we are today, if you don't have a published changeover point for your radio, like, okay, so I'm tracking 16.5 outbound, when do I switch to my 17.1? Because I already have 17.1 identified down here. Good rule of thumb is if it's not charted, do it at the halfway point. So you can see on my N2, this is navigation 2 radio, I'm 63 miles away from 17.1. My nav 1 radio, I'm 35 miles away. So theoretically, making sure that you have line of sight on both, you know, depending on where you're flying and what altitude you're at, all things being equal, theoretically, I should have a better reception to the one that's closest to me. So I'm going to maintain navigating off of nav 1 DME until my DMEs are about equal, which would in turn be the halfway point between the 2 VORs, which is then I will switch and put 17.1 on my primary and track to the station on number 1 once I'm halfway between. Now there are airways that are published that have changeover points which may not necessarily be at the halfway point, so you want to keep an eye on those as well. Alright, sip of water, sip of coffee. I don't know which I should do first. I got water, coffee, and tea. Let's go for the coffee first here. Fud Life. Fud Life dropping the 5 subs as well. Fud, thank you so much, man. Very, very kind. I appreciate the support, Fud Life. Everybody's turning green today. We will remember the Barry Seal Street. Dino, no regrets yet, Dino. So much so, Dino, I sold my I sold my RTX 4080 Super this morning. I sold it this morning. So I no longer have it. If my AMD card goes bad, well, too bad. I don't have another one now. So, Migs. All right, asking a question from earlier. Why do we cycle the props? Great question, Migs. Let's go back into our teaching studio. Everything looks fine up here. Let's go back to our teaching studio. I was gonna, should we do it from here? Let's do it from here. So what I'm gonna do is I have a video from that piston series. We're not going to listen to the audio, but we're going to look at the animation because it's a really good animation and it's my video. So like I should not get copy striked on my own video in theory. So I'm going to pull that video up here real quick. It's from the piston series and it's going to be episode 2 engine run up. I hope this kind of gives you. And we're not going to listen to the cringe 5 year ago V1. 5 years ago. Man, let's see. Do I have this window capture on? Yes, but you're not there. How about... That's in there. No. Cancel you. Should be YouTube. That's the live chat. Where you at? Sky Vector. There it is. Nope. That's not it. That's the one. Let's see here. How can we make this theater mode? Aha! Alright. Prop discussions. Who's that noob streamer? I know. You want to hear what I sound like? Let me do an audio check here. 5 year ago V1.
Looking at this diagram here. This diagram actually shows us what's happening inside the propeller hub.
Super cringe. Alright. But I'm going to use this animation to talk about the propeller. Okay. Make sure I got caught up. Thank you, Fudlife, for the 14 months. Everyone on Team Green tonight. Appreciate you. So... constant speed propellers. That is what is referred to the propellers when you see, I guess I shouldn't have gone back there because we're going to be using the demonstration up here. Anytime you have blue levers, or in this case they're black because they didn't identify them as blue, it just made it, I guess in modern aircraft, blue's easier to identify your propeller lever from your mixture lever. So that's really the only difference here. Now these also have low RPM lights, which is a different discussion. But generally speaking, if you have a constant speed prop aircraft, you'll have a blue propeller lever. Could be black, could be brown, just depends on the model and year of the aircraft that you're flying in. But a constant speed propeller is a propeller that is going to allow you to adjust the angle of attack at which the propeller is biting the air. So that's a lot of words and a lot of mumbo jumbo. Let's kind of wind it back and dumb it down. So when you get in a 172 with no propeller lever, and you have what we call just basically a fixed pitch propeller, that propeller is going to run at the angle of attack that it was mounted on the airframe at, and you cannot change it. So there will be an optimum speed for that propeller, and if you're not at that optimum speed, there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot change the angle of that propeller. And what do I mean by propeller and angle of attack? Isn't that a wing? Let me back up even further. A propeller is, think of it like a wing. Okay, it is a thrust or lift creating device. It's just creating lift aft, aka thrust. All right, so if you look at this particular diagram, it's a little bit more simplified, but it really does look like an airfoil. That's why I like this diagram here, because if you were to straighten this out, this essentially looks like a wing, right? So the propeller acts similar to a wing in that it has its own angle of attack, it has its own drag, it has its own lift, which is thrust, and we can modify the angle of attack on the propeller unlike we can on our wings. Unless we change the pitch attitude of the aircraft, we can modify the angle of attack on the propeller to allow us to get the optimum performance from that propeller at different speeds and altitudes. Because if this propeller was fixed, like in a regular 152 or 172 that doesn't have a constant speed prop, once you go past the optimum range, you're just stuck with it. So it's a less efficient design. High performance engines and turbocharged engines allow us to get a lot of extra performance from our propeller when they are a variable pitch or constant speed prop. So that's kind of why we have them. Now, what I want you to keep in mind as we go through this here in the hub is angle of attack. If you're unfamiliar, the angle of attack is the chord line between the relative wind and, well, the relative wind and the chord line. The chord line goes from the middle of the airfoil, basically split it aft, and then the relative wind. So think about how the propeller is rotating on the hub. It's going down and up, right? So the angle of attack varies greatly on the pitch that we are setting through our propeller lever. Now, hold that thought. Let's continue on. We are 32. We're past it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch you 17.1, nav 2. Perfect. Continuing on. V1 Simulations making flight school great again. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate you, man. V1 Ground School is now in session. Appreciate you. Thank you, Flight Sim guy. All right. So now that we understand why we even want to change the angle of attack on the propeller, it's for getting better performance. Thank you. Should we go back to nav? Go nav it up. I'm in nav mode now, thanks. It's for getting better performance. Let's kind of digest, or kind of dissect rather, the inside of a hub. Now this is a simplified version of a propeller hub, but there's a couple key components. We've got the hub assembly, which is inside of this spinner here. So the blue would be the spinner. That's what you see when you look out the window. Well, let's see if I can show it right there. That spinner, okay? Inside of the spinner is the hub. The hub will typically consist of a piston that is actuated via hydraulic or sometimes a spring or both Or do they use I don't think they use gases anymore, right? I think it's just always been hydraulic. There is some type of actuation to move this piston forward and aft. Now there is a propeller linkage here from the piston that would be directly representative of the propeller lever in the cockpit. Now how you move the propeller. So you're going to have a spring that's pushing against this piston that is shoving the propeller forward in this diagram. ATC wants us to figure out how we're going to get below the clouds or we stay IFR. We just stay IFR. For now, right? No one's contacted me. In this diagram, if we lost all of our hydraulic fluid, the spring is going to push the cylinder forward, which is then going to put the propeller in what we call a flat pitch. All right? The flat pitch is optimal for restarting the propeller. It is completely the opposite side of the spectrum if you can't get that engine started. So there are pluses and minuses to which side the propeller is going to default to if it loses power. If the aircraft design is that you want it to spin back up, like on the Piper Arrow, you only have one engine, you want it to spin up as fast as you can, you want it to windmill, so it's going to, if you lose engine power, the spring is going to be on the inboard side of the piston, driving the propeller forward to a flat pitch, low angle of attack, low drag, allow it, well, I say low drag for the propeller blade, allowing you to windmill and potentially get a restart. Now, the problem with that is if you are at low drag or a high RPM, and when I say low drag, I'm referring to the angle of attack on the propeller, low drag for the propeller. That is extremely high drag for the airframe. If a windmilling propeller can literally render an aircraft unflyable if you are below a certain speed. We call that speed VMC, or the velocity minimum controllable, which is indicated by a red line. What this red line means is if you have an engine failure and you do not feather that propeller, actually I think VMC considers a feathered propeller. It doesn't matter. I think this considers a feathered propeller. Somebody check me in chat. If you go below the red line or VMC, you will lose control of the aircraft due to asymmetric thrust. Now, the flat pitch, high drag is going to create a lot of problems for you climbing out. You may not be able to climb at all. You may only be able to descend, and your VMC, your minimum controller airspeed, is going to increase. So, how you would remedy that is we would do what's called feathering the propeller. To feather the propeller, you will actually reverse the pitch to where it's a flat pitch, and I actually have a feathered image here. So this would be unfeathered. This would be an unfeathered propeller. Oh, you can't see it, dang it. Unfeathered propeller, right here. Flat pitch, high RPM, windmilling, easy to restart, optimal for restart, extremely detrimental to the drag and flight characteristics of your airframe. If you're not going to restart, you're going to want to do what we call feathering the propeller. Feathering the propeller is going to then either use a feathering accumulator, or it's going to use hydraulic fluid, or depending on how your aircraft is set up. For instance, on a turboprop, you have an auto feather system, whereas if it detects a loss of power, it will automatically feather the propeller, because that is the least dangerous situation, to have it feathered and you can fly away from the ground. If it doesn't feather, you may end up at VMC or below VMC and having an issue there. So it really depends on the airframe that you're flying, because some airplanes will default to a flat pitch if you lose power. Some will default straight to fully feathered. All right, so why do we cycle the prop when we are doing our run-up? Among other things, we are first and foremost checking the functionality and the linkage of our propeller system. We want to make sure that the propeller is responding to the propeller input on through the control pedestal, right? As we bring that prop lever back, we want to make sure that the propeller is responding, it's going back down. Now, when you're running a piston engine like we are in the Piston Duke, you don't want to actually feather the prop, because if you feather the prop with the engine running, the amount of stress on the engine is going to be extremely high. Think of it as if this blade was flat out horizontal here and it's trying to rotate through the air. You're essentially slapping the air with maximum drag, and that is high stress, and it will damage the engine. So you don't want to feather the engine while it's running in the run-up area on a piston. In a turboprop like the PT6 is not connected to the compressor turbine. So theoretically, you can go ahead and feather that PT6 in the run-up area, and you're not going to cause any damage. So similar system, but there's different limitations when you talk about turboprops versus piston-driven engines or radial engines, what have you. This is a very basic description of what we're going through. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that we are getting the appropriate response from our control levers. Now, we just hit the VOR. We're going to proceed outbound on 17 or 079, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select heading mode. We need to turn left. 079 outbound. Is that right? AvGeek Rider, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, man. I appreciate you, sir. 079 outbound until 14.7. 14.7 we're not picking up yet, so we're going to fly 079. Try to intercept that as we turn outbound over British Columbia here. AvGeek Rider, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, sir. 5 more members to the channel. Gustavo says Garrett's also don't like to be feathered. Correct. Whoa! Feathering the propeller with the engine running is going to vary greatly on the type of engine that you have. If you have a free turbine, one that is not connected directly to the compressor turbine, theoretically you're not going to have any damage. If it is connected, you're going to create high stress. You're creating an enormous amount of load on the propeller. Way to think about this is if you're driving down the road and you stick your hand out the window, okay, you're going 60 miles an hour down the highway and you got your hand flat out the window, okay, so your hand is flat, you're cutting the air, all right? That's like a feathered propeller. So in the direction that you're flying, or in this case, the direction that you would be driving forward with your hand flat in a feathered propeller, you got little drag, all right? Less drag, you can manage the airplane, you can climb away from the ground, cool. If you are not feathered, in your flat pitch, you stick your hand out the window and you go like this, what happens to your arm? It goes straight back, right? So think of that on 4 blades. Think of the drag that creates, especially if that hand was rotating and you had 4 hands rotating. You're basically sticking a big barn door out there on your wing when you have a flat pitch propeller and it's windmilling and you can't get it started. You are creating, that's the worst case scenario. That is the most amount of drag. Now that is all in relation to the vehicle moving forward. Let's say the vehicle is stopped, like we are on the run-up area. So now the motion of the vehicle is neutral, is 0, is nil. So now we have to think in opposite forms of where the stress is going to be. The stress now is going to be on the engine. So if we're idle, if we're sitting with our parking brake on, and we are in a flat pitch, the propeller is doing what? It's rotating, right? Up and down. So that is a low angle of attack, high RPM, optimal for restarting. If you were to feather your propeller and try to turn it, you're now slapping that air around and around you go, creating an enormous amount of stress on a direct drive or a non-free turbine engine. So that's what kind of the difference is between wanting to feather it in the run-up area or not. PT6, you're fine. Piston, don't do it. All right, so back to kind of a long-winded discussion there, going around in circles. So we know why are we checking it? We're checking it because we want to make sure the linkage works, and we want to optimally, I gotta go back to this cam. We want to get all of the cold fluid, hydraulic fluid, oil, it's not hydraulic fluid, engine oil. The Grand Duke, we use engine oil. We want to remove the cold gelatinous, not gelatinous, not the wrong word, viscosity, high viscosity. What is it when it's like, when it's really cold? It's just, it's less fluid. That's really bad English. It's not as, I'm trying to think of the word. It's not as viscous. Not as viscous, right? So when you cycle the propeller, we used to always cycle the props depending on what the outside air temperature was. If it was really hot summer day, you do one prop cycle, you're good to go. If it's 0 degrees outside, we would do up to 3, sometimes even 4 cycles of the propeller, because what we are doing is we are getting all of that hydraulic fluid to move through the system, move it through the hub assembly, move it through the lines. That way, if we have an engine failure, we are in the optimum condition with a nice viscous oil in the hub to feather that propeller immediately on takeoff, because the worst case scenario to have an engine failure is on takeoff, right? So if you're running down the runway, it's minus 20 degrees outside, and you have a super non-viscous oil in the hub, you lose an engine at rotation, you go to feather it, that thing is super slow to feather, or it's not going into feather because it's just super not viscous, you're setting yourself up for a bad time. Now, theoretically, I believe it would have to be certified that it would still be able to feather. I don't know. You have to dig into the books, ask somebody smarter than me about that. But that is the procedure, and that's why we do it. 1, making sure it functions properly. 2, get the nice, warm, viscous oil into the hub. That way, if it were to fail at the worst possible time, it's going to run smoothly, and it's going to feather the prop right on time. Other way around. Low viscosity means oil is more runny. Thank you, Dale. We want the runny oil in the hub. How about that for English? We cycle the prop hub so we get nice runny oil into the hub, so we have a nice, smooth, rapid feathering of the propeller in the worst case scenario. That's why you cycle the hub, depending on the OAT. Sometimes it's 1 time, sometimes it's 4 times. And for all of you that have flown engines like this, and you've flown in extremely cold climates, you know that it actually feels a little bit different. If you feather it that first time and it's 5 degrees outside, the engine is kind of laggy. It's kind of like, it's like, almost like it's struggling to go through the feathering process. But by the 2nd, 3rd, 4th cycle of the prop, it's a much smoother, much, I don't want to say faster, but it feels a little bit faster, a little less strain on the hub assembly to run that prop into feather, because you have to think of the forces that's creating. If you literally sit down, I'm sure Steven could come up with a nice diagram for us since he's an engineer, but if you think about the force on that engine when you bring that prop back to a almost feathered position and it's trying to rotate clockwise, that is an immense amount of stress on that engine. So it's pretty incredible that they can handle those things, and that's why when I do the feather check, try not to let it go below 1,000 RPM. And you can really feel this in the airplane. As that prop starts to come back, everything starts to shake. You feel vum, 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 vum. You can almost feel each blade as it's rotating, as it's getting towards that flat pitch. That's why you don't go to full feather. Now, in the PT6, knock yourself out. Funny story about the PT6, I've told it a couple times here. When I was flying freight, I was flying a Beech 99. I was out on the ramp out in North Texas, middle of nowhere. And there was a guy flying a jet tractor, and the jet tractor is a PT6 crop dust sprayer. This dude would set the parking brake, feather the propeller, get out of the airplane, refuel, and then get back in the airplane, unfeather the propeller, and go off and do more spraying. And eventually one day I asked him, I was at the FBO there, and it's funny, I knew the guy that ran the airport, ran the FBO, and he's actually one of the dudes that helped me out tow the airplane into the hangar with his F-250 because big ice storm coming. And so I got to talking. I was like, so what's the deal with the refueling with the engine on, man? He's like, well, the Hobbs meter don't stop. You know, what did he say? He goes, if I stop that engine, that Hobbs meter stops running. I was like, fair enough. he gets paid by the hour, right? So he didn't want to waste time refueling, so he just feathered the prop, chalk it. Now, is that the safest thing in the world to do? No. Would I do it? No. Am I recommending you to do it? No. Does it stress the engine out? No. Now, the only thing you have to be careful of in a PT6 like that, or a free turbine, if you are feathered on the ground, you're not going to damage the engine via the linkage because it's not linked. What you do run a risk of is over-temping, because you also have to think about cooling. How does the engine cool off? It cools off by airflow moving through the engine. So when you're feathered, now you're not getting that airflow. Those internal temps might start to rise rapidly. So you've got to be very careful about your temping out if you're sitting on the ground with a feather propeller. During training, we feathered the propeller on the ground. We watched it go full feather on the ground. Then we take it up. We do engine failures in flight. You feather the engine. You fly it around with the engine just out there, completely feathered, not moving. And then you unfeather the propeller, and you can start it. Now, let me talk about the... Actually, I think we have a diagram of the unfeather. Maybe we have the accumulator on the diagram. Let me take a look at it here. But that is a super long-winded discussion on why we cycle the propeller hub on the ground, why we have constant speed props, because we want to get optimum power from our propeller. We want optimum power from the prop at different altitudes, different angles of attack, because we have super powerful engines. You don't always have a constant speed prop on a super powerful engine. It's more efficient. You can tweak it more. You're not fixed. So that is a long-winded, rough, scratch the surface discussion on constant speed props. Migs, thank you for a 7 Canadian. New V1 members get treated to a human prop engine soundboard. Thank you, Migs. Appreciate it. I'm getting the soundboard set up. I just haven't had time. I need to get the soundboard up and running. The Yeti ATR crash has something to do with the engine feathering. Yes. Green Dot didn't do one on that, did he? That would be a good one to watch. All for efficiency, right? So there's also propellers that are ground adjustable. You want to hear a cool story about this? I don't know if Wingnet's still here. So my FFL gentleman that I go purchase pew-pews from, we were talking, and he's like, yeah, I can't. He was telling me a story about how his L1011 had smoke and he couldn't smell it because he got an airplane crash. And I was like, what do you mean you crashed an airplane? He's like, well, I crashed I can't remember what model he said. I want to say he said he crashed like some type of Cub, or it was a light high wing aircraft, but it had a ground adjustable propeller. So what that meant is you could adjust the pitch of the propeller, but it has to be done on the ground. Now, what happened to him, they were flying, I think he took off, and I don't know how it works. I've never seen a ground adjustable propeller. But apparently what happened to him was the system at which you adjust the propeller came loose. It wasn't secured all the way. And when he was flying, the propeller immediately snapped to full-on flat pitch. So maximum drag, so think about your arms out the window and you just put your hand vertical. Maximum drag and such a minimal AOA that they were not getting any thrust. It was like it over-revved. The engine like, whang! So, and it actually went past positive AOA. It was almost like a negative angle of attack. So when he increased throttle, it made the situation worse. And the only thing he could think of was like, I mean, hindsight being 20/20, if he would have shut the engine off, probably would have been able to get some control back, but it happened low level and it was so fast, and with the power full up, it's creating it was almost at a negative angle of attack, so it was doing the worst possible thing. He nosed over and they cartwheeled it in between two hangars, and he got some shrapnel and busted up his face pretty good. I mean, full recovery, wasn't killed. It's a miracle that he survived. But that was the cause of the crash, was the propeller actually went into a negative AOA. And if you think that's when you're about to crash, the last thing you're going to think of is, oh, I need to shut the engine off to stop this nosedive, which is completely, opposite of what you would think to do in a situation where you weren't getting any power. But it's because that ground adjustable prop had gone past where it was supposed to go. Pretty wild. Canadian Border Cross says Plain Crazy Mikey. My man. You know what that means, y'all. We get a new flag on our Beach Duke for the next stream. We'll have a Canadian flag up on our for country number 2. Wow, it looks beautiful out there. Yep, we're starting to pick up YYD. I think I saw it flickering. I think I did. It's flickering. Let's see if we center the needle up. It sure is. Let's take a look at DME. We're 63 and 111. So we'll keep an eye on that. We are looking good. I think we'll stay at 25. How's our fuel? Fuel is looking good, pretty much balanced. Engines are good. Cylinder head temps are good. 87 degrees in here. We'll go ahead and just crack those close a hair. But we're up and running. The 51st state. That's right. 51st state. Mig says, if I recall, the Yeti ATR crashed because the FO mistook the prop lever for the flap and he thought he went full flap but yanked down on the prop lever instead. Uh-oh. That's not good. I'll have to take a look at the investigation on that one. I wish we had some green dot aviation for any type of propeller accident that we could go over for one of the Duke streams here, but I don't know if I'm flying alone. I think I've passed everybody. It might be off course, but that's beautiful down there. Biggest state of all time. Canada's bigger than Texas. Well, yeah, dude. Is Canada bigger than America? I don't know. It's pretty dang big. But how much is habitable? Have you seen the PC-24 jet low idle? Kako, yeah. That's pretty wild. Instead of an APU, that's pretty cool. Now, I don't think the PC-24 that we have does simulate that, does it? Peter DR, I'm glad you learned something, man. I appreciate that. Now, it was kind of a rough... I wasn't, it's not my peak lesson, but... I don't know, it's been over 15 years since I've thought about teaching these. Out of curiosity, let's go ahead and watch some of this, see if we can polish any of a discussion up here a little bit. Let's listen to my cringe self, see what I'm actually talking about. I can shrink this box a little bit. Why can't I shrink this box? OBS, why you hate me? There we go.
Notice the propeller blade cross section is actually an airfoil. It looks just like a wing, right? We have camber over the top, flat bottom, leading edge, trailing edge. Now, when we're cycling propeller levers.
Good night, chat. Having a nice one. Take it easy, Spurious Podge. Enjoy the next one, man. Take it easy, bud.
This is what's happening inside the hub. We are taking oil from the engine-driven pump, and we're pushing it into the hub. As we push oil into the hub, it's going to push against this piston, which will push back on this spring here and this arm and change the pitch of the propeller. Now,
Bill's Mafia, that's me, dude.
Do this?
5 years ago, over 5 years ago.
That is because this is the best way to get maximum performance. We do that by...
There's the angle of attack, right? So I don't think Jeremy's here, but somebody asked, Jeremy asked a while ago, can a propeller stall since it has an angle of attack? The answer is theoretically yes, you can have a propeller stall. And I was wrapping my head around this, trying to figure out how would you get the propeller to stall? And I imagine if you're doing aerobatics and doing some extreme maneuvering, you would be subject to propeller stalls. But when you have a constant speed, or constant speed is kind of a hard term to understand, a variable pitch propeller, you should be able to maneuver the propeller in a way that you do not get a propeller stall. But it is possible to exceed the angle of attack of a propeller and have a propeller stall, have less efficiency. Matter of fact, like that, the instance of my FFL having the issue, that kind of be similar, even though the propeller is not stalled. But anyway,
pulling the prop lever back. We pull the prop lever back, oil flows into the hub. We push the This piston.
I want to see what this
School and
diagram
flight
is here.
instruction.
Ah, so this is a good one here. Feathering the prop at low speed. Yes, Dale. That actually, there you go. That would be an example. So if you had a, or if you attempted to feather the prop, where you might have like, well, actually, a feathered propeller technically is a stalled prop, right? I'm verbal processing this here. A feathered propeller is essentially a stalled prop because it's no longer moving. It's completely stalled out. Right? I don't know. This is a cool diagram. This talks about the... Does this have the... Is this part of the governor system in here? The flange? The flyweights? No. So this is a... So let's talk about... Like, this is much more in depth. So you have the... Here's your propeller hub assembly. You have a low pitch stop. So this would be... used for bringing the propeller all the way back but not going into feather, right? So it would prevent you from going into feather unless you commanded it to go into feather. Let's see, start lock lat. You have some aircraft have start locks. So Jetstream, J41, start locks. If you have the start locks engaged, because you want to have the propellers out in a flat pitch, right? So you could spin them up. You don't want them feathered trying to spin them. That's why when you shut down, say, what's on the Jetstream? Is that a... What's the engine on the Jetstream? I can't think of it now. But if the engine is spooling down, how come it doesn't feather? That's because it has like the low pitch stop, and then you can have start locks. This is getting really complex here. High pitch, fork, blade retention, hub, counterweights, balance weights, engine flange, spinner bulkhead. Here's the actual propeller blade. So this is, I guess this is showing how it actually is going to change the blade on the, or change the angle of the blade. This is really, it's actually not even, it needs to be more advanced, but it's pretty cool.
And practical test to actually fully comprehend what's going on within the propeller hub. This is just a very basic, simplified overview so you guys get a general idea of what's happening inside of these propeller hubs as we're moving these levers. Inside of what's going on so we can really fully appreciate this aircraft as...
Yeah, I can't listen to myself there. Nothing, no more extra juice, but now you know a little bit more about propellers. All right, 78. We're 98, so let's go ahead and switch over to nav 2. So we should be, nav 2 should be about 090 on 14.7. So let's go ahead and select 14.7 here. Throw you up. Let's nav direct 2. 09. Nav it. We're naving. Sounds like you made that video in a bathtub. It was on an old microphone, on a headset. It was like a headset microphone. Center said to expect holding. Uh-oh. Yeah, I was going to climb to 27, but 290 ground speed. We're doing pretty good here. I think we're going to just stick it out. We're only 15 minutes from 14.1. Let me see where we are, or excuse me, 14.7 from, what is that? That's Houston Smithers. From Smithers, we're going to track to Williams Lake with 13.6. 13.6. Now, I wonder if we could get in VFR. We're 60 minutes en route, CYKA. All right, 60 minutes remaining. Fuel is good, 394. All right. Where are we? I'll show you where we are right now. So let's do a route check here. Let's pull you out. I need to reset you back on Sky Vector. Why can't I get you set on Sky Vector? Why can't I get you to see the map? Sitka as in sit down. Ah, sit down. There we go. All right, so route checking here. Where are we? We are tracking 1472. We're 16 miles. So we are, we're 60 miles outside of Smithers, which if I put a little waypoint here, let me just see how far that is. Yep, so that's right about where we are. We are approximately right here. Let's look at the VFR chart. We're going over some pretty good terrain. We're going to hit Smithers, and then we're going to proceed on this low airway down to Williams Lake, and then from there into Kamloops. I don't know if we can get into their VFR. I don't know if we can get into their VFR. It would be kind of cool if we could follow this valley, but we can't. That's some high. That's about 10,000 foot. I think we're going to be above. Right now it's scattered 26. We might have to shoot an approach. Is there an approach into Kamloops? We'll have to look at the other charts. But that's where we are right now. We are 60 outside of right there. Fun fact, Sitka would make great cutting board. Really? How you liking the XTX? I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. Running a 350 T-Lot. It could be running 400, but for the sake of the streaming, I just said I just want to keep it at, no need to run it at max. Running a 350 T-Lot, mostly high and ultra settings, and it's been absolute butter, man. I mean, we're getting over 120 frames right now. VRAM usage is down. I had no problems with my 4080 Super. It wasn't that the card wasn't powerful enough. It's a super powerful card. In fact, you could even it even shows it's like what 2% better than the RTX, but what it lacked was VRAM. So I needed that VRAM. I was getting VRAM'd out with streaming. I don't have a stream PC, so I was able to sell the 4080 and get something with more VRAM. But right now it's chef's kiss. Romulus, you brought up a great topic of, we're going to talk about the cabin pressurization, not pressurization, or we'll call it climate controls. I'm sitting here, 77 degrees, nice and toasty. Meanwhile, Romulus is freezing his feet. So let's go ahead and let's review the what's the word for this? Environmentals. Environmentals? We'll look at the EFB for this one, because this is some seriously awesome, detailed work here by Black Square. So, before I bring up the fancy diagram, let's understand the cabin temp mode selector first. There's some basic principles here. So, this is to prevent frostbite for Romulus and the like that are flying Dukes along this tour. Cabin temperature mode, you can see we've got a couple different options here. Let's go clockwise. From off, we have auto heat. We also have, adjacent to auto heat, manual heat. The difference between auto heat and manual heat is this. Auto heat will light the combustion heater for the aircraft, and it will attempt to make the heat that you select via the cabin temperature selector knob right here. So Right is hotter, left is cooler. Auto heat is going to try to regulate that for you. I've flown airplanes that have similar selectors. The difference between auto heat and manual heat, when you go manual heat, it just says, boom, give me full heat, give me all you got, and I will handle it. As the pilot, I will adjust if I want less or more. The auto heat function is good if it's already like 75 ambient outside and it's not really a big deal because it's really slow. But let's say you start up at 0C, you put auto heat on, it's going to take a very long time, if at all, to warm up the cabin on auto heat. You want to go manual heat, full hot, and try to load it up. Vancouver wants us. He hasn't called me yet. I didn't get a ping. Oh, how did you guys hear that? $33.7? I don't hear center at all. What? I don't hear center at all. Did you guys hear something?
Center November 561 Juliet Bravo, checking in.
133.
Sorry, 92. Should I be remaining with you or switch to a different frequency?
You're in my airspace for a bit here.
Okay, no, I wasn't sure with the
No,
other,
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
He's
Like
250 and more.
I can hear him now.
Okay.
Vancouver, good afternoon. Duke, November 357 Bravo Sierra, level 250, squawking 4051.
Duke, November 357 Bravo Sierra, Vancouver Center. Thanks very much. Proceed direct to the Williams Lake VOR. Plan the ILS-09 approach into Kamloops with the Eblum transition.
All right, direct Williams Lake VOR. We'll plan the ILS-9 for Duke 357 Bravo Sierra. Williams Lake.
That worked well. Okay, let's try the next one here.
Williams Lake is 13.6. We're not picking it up yet.
While I wait for the next one, all stations going to Kamloops. We haven't figured out a way to get you under the ceiling yet. Get you under the ceiling without putting you in holds. So you can expect holds.
And Vancouver for 357 Bravo Sierra. We got a question.
Yeah, now's a good time. Go ahead.
We can't quite pick up Williams Lake just yet. We can either take a heading or we can continue. We got Smithers. We're picking up Smithers, okay, but not quite Williams Lake yet.
Roger, thanks for that. Bravo Sierra.
I think.
Bravo Sierra calling. There you are. Fly heading 110.
All right, we'll fly heading 110. We'll advise when we pick up the Williams Lake VOR for November 357 Bravo Sierra. All right, heading selected. He wants us on a heading, so 110.
Vancouver Center, Duke 11790, flight level 250.
Hold, Stephen, don't disconnect. We need our fuelers.
11790 Vancouver Center. Hello, confirm you're at 250.
Now, I'm going to try something. I know we were doing a discussion on cabin environmentals. We're not done yet, but I'm going to try to do something here. So let's see if we can't put the other VOR in our INS. So how we're going to do that. So we're going to use waypoint 1. The current frequency is 14.7. So 14.7. We're going to data over. Let's look at Sky Vector. So if we look at Sky Vector, it's
number 859 Charlie Mike.
The Williams Lake VOR is going to be approximately
November
the 111 radial.
Mike, Duke, type Duke, and flight level 250 heading.
Oh man,
to
I don't have a distance between
VOR.
the two. Why doesn't it tell me a distance between these
Number
two?
859 Charlie Mike. Thanks. Proceed direct to the Williams Lake
I have
VOR.
to add them up.
Plan the ILS runway 09 approach into
Jeez,
Kamloops.
how many miles is
Expect
that?
to hold.
Let me get my calculator.
Roger that. Direct Williams Lake, expect to hold.
So we've got
Duke,
15
Charlie,
plus
Mike, 9 Charlie, Mike.
13 plus 22 plus 105 plus 55
And that
equals
was,
210 miles. So
Juliet.
it's approximately 210 miles.
561
Let's see.
Juliet,
Let's see if this works. We're gonna do. Well, I'm going to do data. Data is going to be 210 miles. And this data back to the radial is supposed to be
561 Juliet Bravo. Are you squawking ident right now?
one radial.
There should be squawking 4044.
No, but I see an ident flashing.
111 radial. All right,
Should be
use.
ident and red.
Okay, confusing. I thought you said your call sign was Juliet Bravo. Is that right?
It's picking it up.
Affirmative 561.
It's picking it up. We're technically RNAVing to the other VOR with our current VOR. Look at this. If I go to RNAV, 221 miles out, 42 minutes. You could do it. So for all Dukes that are approaching and you have the KNS-80, you can do
I
it.
got you there on
14.7, 110 radial, 210 miles. Make sure you go RNAV, RNAV.
Just check that you're filed and call me back.
You'll be able to pick it up. You can use our KNS-80. So he gave me a heading, so I'm going to stay on heading mode. But
Duke November 1179.
if you're rolling up the rear of the conga line here and he's asking you to go to Williams Lake, set up your KNS-80. You should be able to track it. And as we get closer, we should be able to pick it up here at NAV2.
Vancouver.
At least you have a time and distance.
561 Juliet Bravo. Flight plan should be on file now.
Crazy. All right, weather update. This is exciting. Fort Gaming, welcome to Commercial Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board, man. Steven disconnected. I hate leg holding so much you don't even know. Steven. Come on, Steven. Don't be that way. He's our DC-6. He's our fuel. Zippy better not disconnect. We need at least one DC-6 to land with fuel and parts. This is Black Magic. You keep teaching me how to truly fly IFR. I'll keep your piston engines from blowing up. Look at that. Thanks, man. So, what we're going to do potentially next weekend, if you want to fly radials or military aircraft or just old school stuff, Wingnut or Full Flap Sim is going to be hosting that stream. So he's going to stream the radial and Warbird stuff. We're going to fly Duke stuff, and I'll be able to check in on his stream, and he can check in on my stream so we can see what everybody's doing. I think that'll be a lot of fun. We're going to coordinate that, I think, next weekend maybe. I have to check my schedule. I actually have a really I have come back at like 5 or like midnight on Saturday, so I don't know. I have to double check my schedule, man. But one of these days, we're going to set it up. We'll have a dual stream for all the radials and Warbirds, and I'll be flying the Dukes.
Yeah, it's about to get crowded.
That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. Round motors unite. Zippy, don't disconnect, my man.
59 Charlie Mike.
Steven, you're dead to me. Steven is dead to me. He's too scared to hold.
250.
All right.
November 859 Charlie Mike, 250, yes.
Let's see if we can't crush out. We're only 39. Let's talk about this for 9 minutes, and then we're going to have to really start prepping. So let's go back to our cabin temp discussion here. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Auto heat, you're going to run the small combustion chamber, the small combustion heater for the aircraft. It's really good for just maintaining a mild temperature in mild environments. Manual heat or manual cool, these two are the same, auto cool, manual cool, will do the same thing. Auto cool, it's going to try to maintain the cabin that you select. Now what's cool is, watch, I'm going to go auto heat, and what Black Square is incorporated is it will show me my target is 82, and I can change my target by rotating the cabin temp selector, right? But if you're starting up a really cold airplane or a really hot airplane, your best bet, go manual cold or manual hot, so you get everything that the heater has to give you. Don't let it try to auto-regulate it for you. All right, so those are those two switches, or actually really 4 switches. Auto cool, auto heat, manual cool, manual heat. Now we have a couple other ones here. We have a blower. We actually have 2 blower modes. We've got actually not sure why we have 2 blowers. Oh, we got blower for the heat and blower for the air conditioning, perhaps?
Are you able? Flight level 270.
Now we actually have the blower modeled here. So right now the vent blower is moving. It's actually better to watch this on the ground. This is the vent blower right here. It's spinning. If I turn it to low, will it slow down? Yeah, see? Now the vent blower is going to slow down. All right? So there's our vent blower controls. If you want to cycle or move air through the cabin.
859 Charlie Mike, go ahead.
You see me pulling the pressurization air. Now, pressurization
Down to 230 November 859
air,
Charlie Mike.
I want you to watch here. When I pull this lever out, what I'm doing is I'm now taking basically direct heat from the engines. I'm bypassing the exchanger, and I'm venting that warm air right into the cabin. Now, there is a danger with that, is getting poisoned by your carbon monoxide. So that's why you want to make sure carbon monoxide is functioning here. So if you're running pressurization air, you're bypassing the exchanger and a bunch of other parts of the environmental system. You got to really pay attention to the carbon monoxide guard, because if it starts beeping at you, you got to shut that stuff off immediately,
November 859 Charlie Mike.
or you will basically pass out and die. All right.
Yeah,
So
did you want me to go down to, what did you tell me, what altitude again?
the pressurization air for
Got it, 230.
for the Grand Duke is different than it is for the Turbine Duke. So I'm really kind of speaking just to the Grand Duke right now. But if you're flying up at these higher altitudes, you're really going to need some level of pressurization air to maintain a nice cabin. It's minus 40 out here. Your little combustion heater ain't going to cut it. So that's why we're using the big boy knobs over here. And I think by definition, the combustion heater, is it the manifold or the outflow or something like that? It has like a temperature restriction, so it can't give you a hot enough air to get your cabin temperature up to where you want it above a certain outside air temperature limitation. I can't remember the science behind it. Just know, use these suckers when you start climbing up high, because that's the only way you're going to get hot air to the cabin. Couple other things we'll look at here. This is the combustion heater. Air conditioning, evaporation, you got your vent blowers, cabin air, defrosters, and co-pilot air, cabin air. I'll show you here. These pilot air is actually pool close, I believe. So let's watch. Yep. So pilot air is open right now. If I wanted to, for example, we start up, it's super cold. I'm actually going to pull this out because I don't want to put cold air in my face until it's nice and warm. So I would actually have those pulled close until the heat started flowing through here, and this will change. Green means where it changes color depending on the temperature here, which is really cool. So green, we're pretty much good. But once I had nice warm air, then I will push this pilot air in to give me air to the face. Defrosting air runs the same way, except it's opposite. It's pull on. So there's some theory behind this that if you pull the defrost air on, now you're going to have nice warm air up here to defog, and you're circulating more air around the cabin. Okay, maybe so, maybe not. That's us.
Do you have traffic at your present position at the same altitude?
Stand by, we're looking. Negative. We don't see anybody around us right now, 7 Bravo Sierra. So those are your defrosters. If your window was fogging up, you'd obviously pull those out. A couple other things we could look at.
I've got 2 targets at your present position right now. I'm just going to talk to you, though.
I see.
Know you with some,
actually, we just picked one up here. We do have traffic moving left to right off our nose now. It appears to be some sort of fighter, I think.
Sorry, say again?
Yeah, 357 Bravo Sierra. We picked up traffic off our right wing now. We have traffic inside off our right wing, probably inside half a mile.
Okay, thanks. I'll see if I can track that down.
Guys, if you are following along now, there is the center online, so make sure you are you are
Okay, Oscar Alpha November
doing
10,
things
yeah.
properly and communicating. That's a traffic call you want to hear. You hit anybody yet? Let's see. Oh, air conditioning door. I'm not going to turn it on right now, but this is the door. This is a scoop on the engine. So if you were to turn the air conditioning on, which we'll do as we get further south, this is the air conditioning door. This is where I kept getting confused. Oh, I got to have the heater off for takeoff. No, you don't. You can run the heater on takeoff. You want the pressurization air closed on takeoff because that is robbing power from the engines. But the air conditioner scoop, this needs to be closed for takeoff because it is extra drag and you're robbing the engines of horsepower. So the air conditioner scoop is closed for takeoff and landing. You can see it's closed here. If it were to open, you'd run air through the evaporator, and that's how you get air conditioning into the cabin. Two other main switches here. The pressurization air shutoff. So right here, let's say that we're up here nice and hunky-dory, and all of a sudden the carbon monoxide starts going off. Beep, beep, beep. We need to isolate that. So we would close the pressurization air, and then we would pull these red levers depending on which side it was on. And the pressurization air shutoff is then going to isolate that engine completely from running any air into the cabin.
Center, WestJet 1395.
Because you don't want to ventilate
we are descending 33.5.
Into the cabin that can kill you, carbon monoxide, smoke, fumes, anything like that. So that's what those two red handles are for right there. So if you had the monoxide go off, you close the pressurization air, consult your EFB, identify which one, or let's just say you had an engine fire on number 2, you know exactly which one to pull. You're going to go ahead and pull that off right there.
Number 254 Delta Kilo, are you able any faster?
There's our pulse ox, our oxygen. There's our cabin altitude.
We're accelerating now. We can accept further track shouldering if it helps.
4.6 psi. That checks out. So there's cabin pressurization.
Okay, let's do that. 254 Delta Kilo, proceed direct Eblum.
All right, we're 30 minutes out.
Direct Eblum, November 254 Delta Kilo.
Look, see now I've got, we're tracking on our KNS 80. That is so cool. All right.
And 7 Bravo Sierra, the traffic's gone now. Identified 250.
Roger that. 357 Bravo Sierra. Yep. We don't see anybody now. We're looking good.
Roger.
This guy's like, why is there so many Dukes flying in my airspace? I remember the O2 meter from when you took off with the dump switch open. Oh yeah. Yep. KNS 80 all the way down. Fly to live. So here's the thing. I was planning on adding the one GPS unit. Either the 430 or the, what is it? The KLN 90B. You know, so we could go 155 and a 430. The reason I was thinking of throwing in that 430 was because then we could do some RNAV approaches if we need to as we go further south. I don't know. We'll have to make a poll as we get further on. The planned maintenance hub is Eureka, California, EKA. So we still got a little ways to go. It's kind of the northern part of California. But that was going to be our first initial maintenance stop and avionics install. Zippy says you're going to wait for me to touch down. I think about 10 to 15 minutes behind due to my earlier issues in flight. Yeah, man, I'll park it by the runway, man. We'll park it by the runway. We'll wait for people to arrive. Why we have a minute now, I'm not going to use the cheat map because Wingnut gets upset, but let's take a look at the airport Camelot operations, and let's see what kind of charts they have here. Let's go to FAA. I don't think they have any FAA charts. We have to use Lido charts. Prepare to get your head blown. Arrivals, none. Approaches, yes. Airport facility chart. This is an airport facility chart. My head already hurts. Let's go back.
79.
Ground chart.
Offline, switch on.
That's the one I want. It's so hard to navigate here with just VOR and my iPad. I'm not using the iPad, dude. I'm using the charts, Wingnut.
Say again, was that for
Break.
Morningstar 8092?
So here is
Morningstar 8092.
our
No, it
cam
wasn't,
loops.
but you are getting closer
Runway
now.
9er is the plan,
Go
2,400
ahead
feet.
and
That
switch
looks
to
good.
downward
So what kind of chart can we expect? Approaches.
All right, we'll push Unicom, and we're heading down to Toronto snowstorm. Cheers.
What did he
Morningstar
say?
8092.
The
Ship 1395, altimeter 2986, descend 10.
we only have a localizer.
10,000 West Jet 1395, thanks.
And WestJet 1395, and set up for the RNAV 08 left.
That's perfect. RNAV Zulu.
What approach did he tell us to
8,
expect?
08 Zulu.
We can't shoot the
West
RNAV.
1395,
We have to
ma'am.
shoot the localizer. And this is hurting my brain looking at it. 1099 GNSS required. Uh-oh. Technically we have that, right? Do we? I don't think we have GNSS. KLN or the KNS81, does that suffice for GNSS? I don't think it is. I'm trying to think where he's going to give us a hold. If we have to hold. I don't know. It's 09, not 27. I don't have an approach to 09, dude. I don't have an ILS to 09. You guys have an approach to 09? I'll have to pull up I'll have to pull up Navigraph. Does Navigraph work? I hate to do this. Let's see if it works.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 8807.
Please don't
on
crash the sim.
7 arrival.
CYKA.
Vancouver Center, Katori 720 Heavy, flight level 250, climbing 290 inbound, Princeton via west.
What's RCAP? Oop, we just picked it up.
Sorry, did you copy my contact?
All right. Oh, I can read this. Oh, my eyes.
Air Canada 8807.
I'm relieved.
Okay, Qatari 720 standby, and Air Canada 8807, sorry about that. Runway 08 left.
You got to be a Canadian pilot to do an RCAP? I don't know what RCAP means. Somebody tell me. Restricted Instrument Approach Procedure, RNAV required.
2986, and sorry, what was that altitude?
What did we file? I'm pretty sure I filed Stan Alpha.
The RNAV Zulu 08 left. You can plan for that. You brought it up. RNAV Zulu 08 left approach on the altitude 10,000.
All right, we just picked up our nav 2.
RNAV Zulu 08 left and flight level 10,000.
Look at that. So we just picked up our nav 2.
Sorry, 720 Vancouver. Hello. Did you need higher or is 290 good?
290 is good for now, Katori 720.
Let's see how we can get it. Still a little bit off.
Center November 11790.
125 miles out. We're 126 from our VOR. That checks. We're 84 from the last VOR, so it's getting weak. That's why we're
Who's calling from the
getting a little
VFR?
bit of
Who's the call sign
oscillation
again?
here.
It's November 11790.
We're all right. I'm going to let it go for a little bit
Okay,
longer.
November 11790. Do you have reference to swing?
Affirmative 790.
Yeah, we're in RNAV mode.
November 117.
We're in RNAV mode. We're staying on RNAV, but he gave us a heading, so we are flying a heading. We just started picking up the VOR.
Call me
though.
back level.
Safe landing, guys. Internet drop. Oh, Carlito. We lost one.
Roger.
Sorry, man. It's unfortunate that that is such an annoying part about 2024.
Vancouver Center.
I will
hello
agree.
once again.
The worst part about
WestJet,
2024
looking for IFAR clearance
is that
to
we
Kelowna.
yet have an option
348, Roger. Call you
to
right
just
back.
download a base sim. I don't think we're ever going to get it like 2020. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't care how ugly it looks. I just don't want to be booted from my cockpit when the internet drops. Like in 2024, you're totally fine if the internet drops because you just lose streaming or like the photogrammetry, right?
348, clear to Kelowna,
But
Vancouver
in
2,
2024, it straight up
Departure
yeets you from the
runway
airplane.
08 right, and squawk code 5654.
I just don't think that's cool.
Okay, that's Vancouver 2, departure 08 right, and 5654 in the box for WestJet 248.
That happened to me on my Duke World Tour. Sorry, man. All right, Carlito. We'll see you on the next one, bud.
Welcome.
Should probably do an engine check here while we've been cruising along.
Good afternoon, Air Canada 216, gate 50 information.
Everything is nice. How's our EDM? What's showing here?
Canada 216 Vancouver, hello. You're cleared to Calgary on the Vancouver 2 departure. Flight plan route, depart runway 0.
Nice and cool.
Clear to Calgary via the Vancouver 2 departure, flight plan route off runway 08, raise clock 5066.
Nothing's crazy on the temps. Everybody's happy, happy, happy. Current task 265? 265, and the chart was saying 266. That's pretty dang good. All right, I'm getting a nice stable 2 signal now. So what I'm going to do is go RNAV off, and I'm going to go 13.6 primary. We'll go to N1 DME, and we are tracking 2. And Vancouver, November 357 Bravo Sierra. We are now receiving the VOR for, I'm sorry, what was it? The Williams Lake VOR. We can track direct if you would like to.
Number 357 Bravo Sierra, proceed direct to Epsom now.
I'm sorry, repeat the fix for 357 Bravo Sierra.
Are you able to direct to Epsom?
Can I get the spelling for that fix for 357 Bravo Sierra?
Yeah, it's on the ILS 09 chart. It's Echo Bravo Lima Echo Mike. Sorry, Echo Bravo Lima Echo Mike.
Echo Bravo Lima Echo Mike. Stand by 357 Bravo Sierra.
Roger. Meantime, you are cleared direct to the Williams Lake. You're pretty much tracking direct right now. So it shouldn't make much of a difference.
Or nav mode.
Your steer, but advise when able direct Emblem.
Okay, we'll advise when able direct Emblem. We're tracking direct to Williams Lake VOR, November 357 Bravo Sierra. All right, so we got to do some magic here. We need to get Emblem. We can do it. We can track it. So how we're going to do that, we're going to clear this out, and I'm going to just go Emblem. I want to see where Emblem is. We're going to go World VFR. Actually, World Low. Where's the Emblem fix? EBLEM?
We're cleared to leave control airspace.
I can't pick up EBLEM. I was going to KNS Magic, but it's not there. EBLEM, it's not on
Yeah, that's correct.
Sky Vector.
Okay, 790, Roger. IFR cancellation is received. Thank you.
Gosh dang.
IFR cancellation.
Because I was going to try to do it off of Williams Lake. EBLEM is not there. EBLEM. Did it get it now? Enter. No, it won't let me take it. CYKA. No, it won't. It's not in the box. It's not in Sky Vector. 502, 521. Oh, geez, AJ. World VFR. Or is it on a high? It's not on a high chart. How does it do pressurize with the tiny manual open window? It won't pressurize if that window's open. Ah, Vega, my man. He says it's 95 on the 133 radial. Okay, so we got to do some KNS magic. You're my man. Let's look at our KNS here.
5,000 west at 1395.
So we need 13.6 first. We're going to data over 13.6. Beautiful. We're going to data over radial 133. 133, data over, distance 95. 95. Use. Let's go ahead and go heading mode here real quick. Let's see if we can't pick this up. We'll go RNAV, RNAV. We got it. We got it. Look at that. Look at that. At Vancouver, November 357 Bravo Sierra, we are able to direct Emblem now.
357 Bravo Sierra, thanks.
Direct Emblem, 357 Bravo Sierra. My man in chat. Let's go ahead and nav it up. Please work. Come back, come back, come back. $95, 133. 95 on the 133. We're set. All right. Distance to Eblum now, 36 minutes, 180 miles. I got to check my flight plan. I thought I filed Slant Alpha. What did I file? Oh, I didn't. Oh, I didn't file Slant Alpha. Ruh-roh. We're going to keep this between you and me. We filed Sadukaguffery. SDFGRY, whatever that means.
357 that's helping, thanks. Now, you're still 3 minutes in trail of the other aircraft, so you can still expect a hold. It'll probably be a hold on the ILS for runway 09. The other center control level arranged that with you. Just be prepared for that. Don't expect to hold at Williams Lake or Eblum or anything like that. It's probably going to be right on the ILS.
Okay, November 357 Bravo Sierra, we will expect that. Do you have any issue with us slowing down? Can we slow it up a little bit?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Right now you're grounding same speed as the traffic ahead. So if you could pull back a few knots and we can open up some space between you and that aircraft, that might help.
Oh.
Behind you are going to be probably put in hold. So.
Roger that, November 357 Bravo Sierra. We'll pull it back a little bit. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and pull it back.
Go to the back of the line then and try November 585 Romeo Papa, Vancouver.
Let's go ahead and drop it back to
29
for now.
Romeo
Look at
Papa,
my charts.
are you able to slow down?
Let's go 65. Let's go 55%.
Can you slow down? Would you like a certain speed, 5 Romeo Papa?
60.
Yeah,
let's go
like
55%. 30 inches.
Do you have fuel for
Let's
a minimum?
see. At 25, that bring us to 230. That's a 30 knot task difference, allegedly.
8 for 5 Romeo Papa.
So
Okay.
we're going to come
5
back
Romeo
25.
Papa,
Engine RPM, we're going to run it up 2,400.
5 Romeo Papa.
Or actually, no.
Everett,
Engine RPM 2,400. We're going to bring it back.
Everett, 195.
Go for 195.
That's 195.
So 45% power is 24 inches. Let's split the difference. Let's go
I'm sure the mechanical thing is slowing down.
29, 28.
195, reduced to minimum plus 10 knots.
I just need my FMS. I need green dot plus 10.
Plus 10. We don't have a direct scale here, so we'll just bring it back and see if you're happy with it. Roger.
All right, so we're going to run 28 inches, 2,400 RPM. Fuel flow, we're going to lean for fuel flow 86, around the 75% power line. Or correction, 55% power line. We should end up tassing out around 212 if we do this right.
8 Victor Kilo, reduce your speed to minimum plus 20 knots.
Let's take a look at our ITTs. We're going to lean them out.
Vancouver Center West at 1395. We're going to need a little lower for 3000 for the approach.
1500 ITT, that checks.
3000 West at 1395. Thank you.
Romulus. Hypoxia be damned. I'm now basking in 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, cleared RNAV
Romulus.
Zulu, 08 left.
Meanwhile, we're just chilling here at
transition
74.
West at 1395.
Romulus, so think of it this, the best way to take control of your environmental. Go manual heat, vent blower high. If you're at 100 degrees F, close your pressurization air up, close them up. Monitor this until it's about 80 or 75, and then crack them. You don't need them full open. These are very powerful levers down here. You pull these, I only pull these full open when it's like 0 or minus or below 0 on the ground to warm us up.
Indicated of
So
195 knots.
push them in,
It will be 195
because you don't need air conditioning. You don't need air conditioning because it's minus 40 outside. What you need to do is reduce the heat going into the cabin. So by pushing those pressurization air levers in, you're going to reduce the heat coming in.
Can't make the turn yet because it's going to be on an approach.
Let me sync up my props here.
7 coming in for the same runway and same approach. So you're still turning towards MCAM.
All right, so
you gotta turn left
we
now.
are still slowing down. We're 250, temperature minus 40
You can
still.
expect direct MCAM in just a few minutes.
We're slowing up. We're almost 245 on the TAS.
And Center Everett 195.
I'll call you back. Got a couple of IFRs on approach.
Oh, that's it. So let's see. We should TAS at 25, at 55, 230. We could expect up slow as slow as 230.
95, thanks. Wind 080 at correction 1.
So we're getting there. We're actually, it's so cold. I think it's actually colder than, I think it's ISA minus. So we're actually getting a little bit more performance. But we pulled it back about 15 knots. That was showing 311.
Now turn right direct.
So now we've given them 15, 25 knots. You know, that'll make a difference. That's also going to help our fuel burn here, especially if we have to hold.
You can go ahead now.
This is getting hardcore, man. This is getting super hardcore. Hit the like button if you like this hardcore stuff. Jeez, I'm stressing. Passive-aggressive Canadians. This dude's awesome, man. I like this controller.
Vancouver Center, Air Canada 216, we're at Kentucky.
Got a little bit of rock up here, a little bit of turbulence. Or it might just be trying to navigate on this KNS.
You are cleared the R9 Zulu runway 08 left approach.
It's pretty sensitive. I was interested in how hot I could get it. 102F. It's achievable.
Air Canada 807.
I can't believe we're naving to the freaking emblem on a KNS 81 at 25,000 feet in a fleet of Dukes. This is too much, man. Uh-oh, full flap sim is here. Migs, thank you for the 7 Canadian, dude. This is the closest we'll be on this fabulous tour to my neck of the woods over to Vancouver Island. Godspeed to Ushuaia, Barry. Hey, Migs, appreciate the 7 Canadian, man. I got some Barry salutes right back at you, man. Vancouver Island. I think from here, we'll have to look. I don't have the route planned from here forward, so if you have a suggestion for the next 4 legs, feel free to post them in the FBO chat in the Discord. I'll take a look at all the suggestions, and then I'll eventually make a final determination.
Yeah. Okay. I think 2.5 will be okay.
So let's see. Yeah, we're 245 TAS, 272 on the ground, 32 minutes out. So that really slowed us up.
Okay, now
look at the exhaust stack vibrating there. Never done a long haul on a Duke. I guess this would be considered a long haul, right? Although I wonder if is the RNAV oscillating? Yeah, it's the RNAV. So if I go heading.
216, is that you calling?
I need you guys to be I need you to be good at those. If I start deviating, let me know.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just figuring out some audio issues.
I'm in heading mode.
Okay, hold short, right.
I'm in heading mode, so to minimize that oscillating. What did Full Flap say? Why don't you tell him he's doing a nice job? That worked out well last time. Yeah, last time I complimented a controller on a Veo Premium, I was banned. Will not be doing that. But if this gentleman is ever watching the stream, I don't know if he watches streams because he seems extremely confused on why the hell there's a bunch of Dukes and DC-6s flying to Kamala Airport in Canada. If anyone ever can get the message to him, I sincerely appreciate his work. He's doing a great job. Yeah, Migs, it looks like the weather's clearing up. Hopefully it does so we can maybe get straight in, you know, if we don't have to do the ILSs. But I don't know. It looks like there's another cloud bank over there. Let's go 310 driver or 310 pilot cam. Kind of want to get that compass in there. That's cool.
Sorry, 720, go ahead.
Why'd they ban you for that?
5 to 10 minutes out of
Sorry,
I don't think they banned me because I complimented the controller. They banned me because when I complimented the controller, I guess they didn't believe the name on the account and they wanted me to send in an ID, and I wasn't going to send them an ID, so like, okay.
Vancouver.
What's crazy is that account was like 4 years old. It's like it's never been a problem until I guess I'm thinking when I submitted a formal what's it called, like a thank you, I guess
at the Williams Lake VLR,
maybe that triggered something in their system. And they're like, huh, He thought I was the flight lead. I'm not responsible for these Dukes. Oh, Max, make a stop at DVT. I don't think we're going that far east. I think we're going to try to keep it down the coastline. We might have to stop at DVT, though.
Somebody has the
That's where I
T695.
did my training at. I'll have to see. We'll have to see. I've been slowed for sequencing 0040. I wish I had that estimate. Oh, you know what we could do? We can do that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. We're going to get our estimate to the field. So let's bring our sky vector up.
You cannot hold at the wing 6 VOR on the...
And so to the airport, we're going to put this in.
South
126 at 113.
on the 127 radial, all turns right.
126 at 113. So I'm going to go waypoint
The 116
2.
VOR SOPs on the 127 radial with standard jets.
126 at what I say, 113.
November uniform, kilo. Read that correct.
And the freak is
There won't be a long hold,
13.6. So now, if I use 2, I'm not going to nav there. We're in heading mode. So right now, in number 2, I am 33 minutes out. We're 33 minutes from our destination. I'm going to go back to waypoint 1, use 28 minutes from the fix. So we're 33 minutes out.
At my discretion, 2999.
What time is it? It's that's going to be right at 004 or something. Wait, you're 0040? Dude, that's 40 minutes after Zippy. I don't know if we'll be waiting at 40Z.
07, traffic ahead is clear. You cleared the land runway 08 left.
I don't know if I could wait a full 40 minutes.
08 left, air kind of 88%.
Man, what a flight this is, though. You plan on flying to Mina? I don't know. Mina's super far east. Mina's pretty far east. What I would like to do... Oh, I left the sky vector up. What I would like to do, though, is... this is future. Maybe come back north in the turbine Duke. You know? I think this tour alone is probably going to take a couple of months, maybe 2.
Yeah, we'll take 1-3, West Jet 1395.
2-3 months. You know, if we do 2 streams, or 2 streams every week, I think it's going to be about 2 months. But maybe when this tour completes, we could do Turbine Duke on the return.
Hello.
We'll see. And then we can come up further east. You know, maybe come up the east coast.
Inbound. Take off.
Oscar says, incoming Iveo Premium Bulletin. No more Dukes. I know it, dude. BLI is your re-entry point back in the U.S. to fly over San Juan. Yep. I would like to hit Catalina TV flight. I don't know if I will. That's still pretty far south. Right now our main goal is to get to KEKA. And actually, let's put a poll in chat.
216, departure with Nevis frequency, clear takeoff, runway 08 right, report your altitude airborne.
At
Give me a shot when airborne,
Chica.
takeoff, runway 08 right, air count 216.
our
Air Canada
maintenance
807,
facility,
can we
do
get
we
taxi to gate 31, please?
install Garmin 430
Mike,
or install, what is it, the KLN 90? KLN 90B? Or
Sorry, Mike Juliet,
nothing.
and then for Air Canada
what
807.
is a KNS 80?
Lima. You said gate 31, correct?
Gate 31, correct. Taxi by Mike Juliet Lima.
Roger. Connect, I neglected to give you the altitude. The hold will be at 230.
330, Alpha Uniform, or Alpha November Uniform, Kilo.
You can maintain 250 until you get the VR.
Maintain 250 until reaching VOR and then descend 250.
Oh no, I just looked zippy as the last DC6.
Number 646
no.
Alpha Whiskey, then come
646 Alpha Whiskey, go ahead.
Oh, that's vodka.
646 Whiskey, hold at the Williams Lake VOR on the outbound 157.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Let me rephrase that. Geez, I haven't done a hold for so long. November 646 Alpha Whiskey, hold at the Williams Lake VOR, southeast on the 157 radio, all turns right at flight level 250.
Hold on, let's see if we can
All right,
do
holding
this.
Williams Lake 157, radial right turns, flight level 250, 646 Alpha Whiskey.
All right, so he wants them to hold on the 157,
646 Alpha Whiskey, readback correct.
which is the southeast.
Expect further clearance.
So if we were going directly
2410
to the VOR right now, how do we do that?
All right, we'll sit tight till then. 646 Alpha
Yes,
Whiskey.
I wish I had a keyboard to draw this out. So I'm trying to calculate his hold. If we were to do
Vancouver
that hold
Center,
right
West Jet Street,
now, it would be
4-8,
157
ready for taxi,
right
08,
turn. So that
right.
goes there. I think it's a direct entry. I think for us, if we were to enter that hold right now, if I right turn, so you split it, this would be teardrop parallel 157. Oh, but that's the inbound, right? So the outbound is 327. Ooh, so
Okay,
that's a
roger
parallel
that,
entry.
taxi
So opposite,
apron,
opposite. It would be a
and
parallel
hold short at
entry,
Hotel
I think.
Golf, West
So we would
54.
fly to the VOR, and we'd have to go opposite, opposite. So we would make a left turn. Oh, shoot, I don't know. I hope we don't get a hold. I don't remember how to do a VOR hold. I have a headache. Wingnut, where you at? 337. I think it would be, would that be a teardrop? Because it's right turn, so teardrop, parallel, direct. I think it'd be it.
Really, really quiet.
If I was looking at a map, I could figure it out. Because we would be coming straight from the southeast, so it's a little bit different. It's a weird hold for us because we're coming from the opposite direction. Because right now the VOR is almost 90 degrees to our left.
You're at Victoria?
Migs, thank you for the 6 Canadian, man.
Vancouver Center, kind of 216 airborne passing 2000.
Appreciate you. It says, let's just turn it right back around at Ushuaia and catch the stops we missed out on.
Identified
No one's going to
flight level
complain.
270,
There you go.
And proceed to direct gap head on.
Direct outside up to 370, Air Canada 216.
Just hit Ushuaia and turn right back around, Migs. Oh, man. That's why I got the Learjet, nobody in the way.
Remember 131 Alpha Juliet, I have a hold for you.
Yeah, dude, you friggin' blasted past everybody. I want to see the Iveo Premium map.
131 Alpha Juliet, hold at the Williams Lake VOR, southeast on the 157 radial, all turns right, flight level 270.
Williams Lake VOR southeast 157 radio, roger.
Alpha Juliet, thanks.
Canada 3 Heavy, outbound Cuba, gate.
Oh my gosh.
Information echo on board, looking to get clearance to...
Oh my gosh, look at this.
10-3 Heavy, Vancouver Center, hello, cleared to Tokyo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
3650.
Oh my gosh.
Cleared to Tokyo.
I'm glad we're like number 2. Hopefully this Cana guy has to hold.
Score 3650, Canada.
Duke Turbine.
Cat 3 Heavy, reback correct. Pushback setup.
Duke Turbine. Grand Duke.
Pushing back
Grand
approved,
Duke.
call on this frequency for taxi.
Grand Duke, who's in front of us? Turbine in front of us. Oh, that's Flix. So we got a turbine in front of us. Hopefully that's vodka. That's got to get the hold for us. There was 16 originally. Everyone chickened out. Dude, that's too funny.
Center Everett 105.
Everett's 1 under 5. That's.
Remember 254 Delta Kilo, contact Vancouver Center 135.45.
We're going to be next.
13545,
good day, November 254 Delta Kilo. Thank you so much.
135.35. 13535 for November 254 Delta.
That'll be us.
13535 November 254 Delta Kilo. Good day.
You got it despite my best attempt. That's it, okay. Yeah.
3535.
Everett 195, go ahead.
We've stabilized in our speed at the current setting. Is this good for your
See, I didn't file.
That's as good as we can
Slant
do, I
Alpha.
think, with speeds right now. given the flank speed we've got to work with. You might. Would you prefer vectors, or you want to hold at Williams Lake?
So we are actually GPS equipped, so we've inputted a hold at Williams Lake with right turns for 1 minute legs.
1 minute legs and a DC-6?
Yeah,
Where you going to get sick?
that's helpful. I'm going to clear you for that right now. You clear to hold at the Williams Lake VOR.
You might want to get a longer leg length on that one.
Southeast on the 157 radial, all turns right. And it's flight level 190. Thank you.
Yeah, Felix has a good point. Inbound.
November 859, Charlie Mike, making sure I didn't miss a call.
Once you pick up the airport, if you're visual, we'll cancel IFR, and then you'll be able. Everybody will be released from the hold.
Now, who's the concern they missed a call?
Perry, there's a lot of nav options.
November 859, Charlie Mike. Somehow got off frequency.
Right now we're rocking KX 155s. You can do a KLN 90, a 430, 530, 650, 750, PMS, or TDS. This airplane's got it all, man.
9 Charlie Mike, roger.
So what is our pole at?
Vancouver Center, West Jet 348, holding
53, say Garmin 430. All right, yes, yeah. I'm kind of thinking that too, just because it'll. I think as we get further south, we're going to need some RNAV, like some legit RNAV capabilities,
Lima 4, cross 13, holding short 08, right?
I'm Borble pulled until I see the airport. All right, Felix. I've got us pulled back for now. What's up, Corey?
Spirit 21, descend 5,000.
Ground speed 262. Our TAS is really stabled out. Let's see. So
259 Charlie Mike.
We are showing 240,
157 radial.
243,
all turns right,
and at 25,000 feet according to my chart.
Hold at Williams Lake at 187. Repeat the altitude.
230.
230.
Flight level 230, 9 Charlie Mike.
That would be at...
The radial is the 157 radial.
157, 9 Charlie Mike.
30. So yeah, we are.
I gave you the wrong radial. It should be the one.
We're getting a little bit more perf because it's not standard.
Let me clean that up here. 9 Charlie Mike. Well, I got you.
It's good enough. Taking a look at our fuels. We are getting
127 radial. Sorry about that.
Towards the bottom here. Let's tap on the glass. Watch this. Got to tap on my fuel.
127 radial, 9 Charlie Mike.
Can you tap on the glass in your dowels in case your needles get stuck? I don't think so. And no, I can. Those needles will get stuck. Now there is a crossfeed technique here if we get off balance. I don't remember how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Hopefully we don't get out of balance, but I should probably review that procedure. Thanks for the super chat, man. Euro holds are basically a stationary flat spin while maintaining altitude. A KLN 90 would be way cooler than the 430. I don't know. I mean, the KLN 90. I gotta remember how to work that thing, dude. I think more people will. I think more people will relate to the 430. It's all glass, so that's right. There are no needles. Oof.
Unable. Say again.
Thanks, Kid Biggs, for 7 Canadian, man. Man, I feel like we're just pulled it way back now. I want to fly fast in my Duke. Wow, look at the terrain down there, though. Oh, my terrain in 2024 is so blurry. I'm going back to 2020. Look how juiced that looks. Come on now, it's almost real life. Flight sim guy, 18 minutes out. Roger that. Weather update.
7 Bravo Sierra, Vancouver.
I'm sorry, go ahead for 7 Bravo Sierra.
7 Bravo Sierra, the sound altimeter is 29er tree. When ready, descend to 14,000.
Descend 14,000 and 29er for Duke 357 Bravo Sierra. All right, we should probably start down now. We're 16 minutes out. Let's calculate our top of descent.
720 heavy, roger. Everything's offline. You can switch to the en route frequency now.
Emblem is at 8,000 eventually, right? So let's do some math. We're 25 minus 8 times 3 is 51 miles from
7
Eblum.
Bravo Sierra, contact
Oh, shoot.
Vancouver Center.
We need to start down.
132.35.
Was that 135.35 for November 357 Bravo Sierra?
Negative. It's
132.
132.35. 32.35.
32.35. Thanks for the ATC. You're doing a hell of a job for 357 Bravo Sierra. We'll see you next time.
No, that's fun.
All right, 32.35 is up. We're going to start down. Attitude hold. Down we go. Center, good afternoon. November 357 Bravo Sierra vacating flight level 250 for 14,000. Shouldn't have said 4, but close enough.
November 357 Bravo Sierra Vancouver Center. Hello, welcome. Sorry to confirm you said you've been cleared down to 14,000. Is that correct?
Affirmative. Descending to 14,000. November 357 Bravo Sierra.
Okay, 7 Bravo Sierra, roger.
So he's a little late on that, but
for Delta Kilo, you correction, descend 10,000. Camel altimeter 299.
we are 150. What was the?
For Delta Kilo Center, are you with me?
Nope, he gone. What was the manifold? Or gosh, I have to check my notes again for the stage cooled because we have it way back. So
4 Delta Kilo. Sorry, we're on the wrong frequency here.
Hey, 4 Delta Kilo. No worries. Thanks for checking in. When ready, continue to descend to 10,000.
See where that was
299 and I understand you're planning the ILS at Eblum. Is that correct?
Yeah, affirmative. We're planning the ILS from Eblum. Number 4
we have
Delta
a
Kilo.
manifold pressure and
10,000.
airspeed, a couple of things.
Okay, 4 Delta Kilo. Just give me your best forward speed of the descent.
Yeah, maintain best forward speed. November 4 Delta Kilo.
Below 300F. Below 300F.
And Center November 4 Delta Kilo. Best forward's going to be 200 indicated.
So
right.
I'm gonna step, 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 step. Cylinders below 300F. Dang, we're at 356. Okay. So we've got it pulled back 2 inches. Let's increase that rate of descent. Let's get our sounds up a little bit here. That was a little bit of a late descent. It's going to be kind of tough. Oh, no, we're 59. Oh, we're good. We're good. I was looking at 13 minutes. We're still all right. It's going to increase our speed a little bit, but I'm getting a nice steady signal now, so let's go ahead and re-engage nav. Let's see if she stops S-turning. All right, let's look up the rest of the chart here. 1093 and 087. So I'm going to put 1093 in the standby on both. 1093, 087.
4 Delta Kilo, descend 8,000.
Descend 8,000 November 4 Delta Kilo.
08587.
7 Bravo Sierra, descend 2,000. And I'm hoping I don't have to do any holds. But I'll let you know what to plan for whenever you're ready.
All right, descend and maintain a 12,000, and yeah, we'll just be we'll be standing by for what you want us to do for 357 Bravo Sierra.
Roger, stand by. 6 Mike Charlie, contact Kelowna Tower 119.6.
196.
Let's come back 2 more.
November 357.
26. Start. We'll start the chrono now. Maintain 26. 350, 374.
Air Canada 194, contact Vancouver Center 133.6.
Did I hear you judging me for my retrofit DC6?
1337 for Air Canada 1904. Thanks.
I may have judged you a little bit. Just a little bit.
7 Bravo Sierra. Okay, so just planning for the hold. This is not a hold clearance, but just plan to hold if necessary. Inbound on the localizer course between, let's call it, it'll be about 10 and between 18 and 10 DME at 8,500.
Okay, we'll plan to hold between 18 and 10 DME, 8,500 on the load for a 357 Bravo Sierra. All right, so that's not too terrible of a hold. That'll be pretty easy. It's just going to be a DME hold, so we'll actually N1 it. Let's go N2. I doubt we're picking up any loc right now. Yeah, we're still 50 miles out, so no loc right now. But we are going to, that's okay. What we'll do for a DME hold, that's going to be very simple. We're going to fly, we'll center up the needle. He's going to give us right turns or left turns, and we're just going to be looking at our DME. Boom. Now, he said between 18 and something. If he gave us a specific DME, I could KNS that waypoint on the localizer. Matter of fact, should we try that? Let's see if we can't set up. Oh, what did I just do? It was 29903, but we're still 29902. Let's go. Dang it. Waypoint. Oh, no. We're using that. I just want to go to waypoint 3 because waypoint 2 is the destination. Let's attempt to set up a hold on the localizer. So I'm going to use the 1093 Freak. All right. And the inbound course is 087. So the outbound radial is going to be 267. So we got to select 267. 267. And then what DME did he say? Between 10 and 18 DME. So let's call it an 11 DME hold.
4 Delta Kilo. Okay, you're cleared the ILS-09 approach, Eblum transition.
So I've got this program to hold at 11 DME. We'll have a backup
your surveillance
nav.
services terminate. Contact
That
Hamlet
should
Radio
be a waypoint on the approach
125.7.
course. So we'll have a little bit of information. I've set it at 11 DME. This is between 10 and 18.
radio on the 125.
That should be good. I'm going to scroll back to waypoint 1 because that's what we're navving to right now. RNAV 40 miles out, 9 minutes. We're out of 19.1. We're well past our 2 minutes. Yeah, we're 251, so let's go ahead and go back 2 more inches. Straight to 25 inches now. Cylinder head temps, they're coming down. We're 338, 360, so we're coming down. I was a little late on that. Let's reset the chrono. I can never reset this thing. How do you reset the chrono? There we go. Yeah, see, it's hunting a little bit more. Let's go back to heading mode. That's normal. Especially as we descend now, we're going to have less signal, so got to keep that in mind. It does appear it's going to be IMC as we drop down. 18 DME is the intermediate fix. It is Duvon. All right, cool. But he wants us. So I think he wants us holding in this range right here. I'm thinking. We'll be good. Thank you, Throttletek. Between 10 and 18 and 85. Perfect. So I've got a. We're going to use raw DME to hold, but I'm just going to have it in the backup KNS just in case. I'm getting stressed out. Did the guy with the iPad judge the dude who's juggling 4 angry R2800s for installing a GPS? Yes. All right, we're through 18,000. I don't know what transition altitude is out here in Canada land. We'll go 29 or 9 or 3. Did we lose Slustavo? Did he sign off, the angry Canadian himself? Slustavo was in an MU2. I didn't see an MU2 on the map. I think Slustavo got scared and DC'd. Yeah, he's not on the...